Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You see big homie get a fumble, he get a turnover chain. See big homie get the pick up, he get a turnover chain, 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 turnover chain. You see the whole crowd going user. We want the turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy. We want that turnover chain, turnover chain. Turnover chain is deeper than jewelry, deeper than blink. It's deeper. See, this is our thing, and you was the team, it's strictly for cake. Invented the swag, you rented and brag, but we want it back. Let me get that. But you can keep the old one, cause we keep something new in the bag. All of these players is hungry, don't come in here thinking it's funny. We aiming for something, rocking the chains when it's sunny. Even when raining or something, we ain't gonna be something. I hope your quarterback don't think it's sweet. The defense will make them take a seat. And if somebody strip the ball out, then somebody get a Cuban link. Now you know how it go with the fans though. We be going wild all in the stands though. If you're not with the team, you're not familiar. If you throwing U's up, you're not familiar. Come on, get loose like a band, trombone, throw 3 or 5 up, my home, CWA. Tell them about it. All the canes going wild when we yelling this out. Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You seen big homie get the fumble, he get a turnover chain. Seen big homie get the pick up, he get a turnover chain. Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You see the whole crowd going user. We want that turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy. We want that turnover chain. Who that?
So low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
It's some canes over there. It's some canes over there.
You already know, man. We right here with the legend, man. Live and direct, man. Pat Train, and it's going down, man. Solo DWA.
What's up, man? Shout out to Miami Sports Music.
Hey. The new anthem for the new era. Fins up. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back up in the mix.
Throw it up. Throw your phone up in the sky. Throw it up. Let them know that we gon' ride. Where you from? We be reppin' worldwide.
DWA, stay loyal till we die.
What is the come up? We been down for a minute. This the come up. We been reppin' that consistent. This the come up. Now the world gotta feel it. Reppin' so loud, whole world gotta hear it. A new era. Dolphins on the clizzard. Tick, tick, tiz out. Till we reach the tiz out. This another stiz out. Reppin' till we drizz out. So low D, I be reppin' with this hip hop. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back up in the mix.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Ain't no more relying on fits. It's time for Tua to get us lit. That's why we got Waddle at 6 and Jalen Phillips is a brick at 36. We got Javon Hollins, Madden hit stick. Eichenberg protecting hips. 2 whole years and he ain't slipped. Run along, he got that gritter, triple threat, he so legit. Ronald Coleman, Jared Goff, the 7th round was such a gift. That's why we toast, that's why we sip, that's why we reppin' MSM. Miami sports music, don't confuse it, don't abuse it. Unless you want a new contusion, real talk, ain't no illusion. Solo D started a movement, MSM the institution. TD Fins the contribution, yeah, we started a new unit.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era, and we back
in the mix. MIAMIDOLPHINs. When do I begin? I've been rapping since a kid. If you rapping, then we can. TWA, if you rapping, then we can. Welcome to Persianville. We asking what would Shula do? He would take the narrative and spin it like a hula hoop. He say let it Coach Flow. Coach Flow gon' do his thing and he gon' bring it to it in and to it. Come and change the game. Watch the squad ball out. Got the fans all excited. Coolers out. Grills on. Got the tailgate ignited. It's the Aqua Society. They know we stay united. DWA. We be down and start a riot. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Who that?
So low, so low, so low. Deep.
Tight as hell. You feel me? But that's how we put it down. We put it down every time. When it's time to show up for the fans, we out here. You dig?
They know it's coming. Yeah.
We out here with it, man. Let's go. DWA, man.
Hey, y'all been part of the Buffet Boys.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, the Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
You're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live. Direct effect in the building. What's up? Throwback Thursdays in the house. What's up, baby? Super excited to be hanging out with you, my Fins family, my Fin-laws. Oh, yeah. I know times are hard right now, but we're going to do it together. We're going to bring it in. Come here. You, come on. I know you need a hug right now. I'm going to give you a virtual hug because I know you need it. I know you need a virtual hug. I got you. Don't even sweat it. It's going to be okay. Your boy is here, Stephen D, home on the #1 Miami fan morning show. I'm talking about clock blockers or flip-floppers, whichever one you want to go with. That's fine. I don't care. You call it flip-floppers all you want. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. Got a lot to talk about, but before we do, you know what we have to do each and every morning. We got to do some housekeepings. Housekeeping. We got to do some housekeeping, okay? First things first. Hey, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button on your way in. Come on, yo. I'm not playing. Hit the like button. Tap it. Double tap it. Let people know that we're here. Share it. I'm serious. No. I'm talking to you. You on the toilet seat. Yes, you on the toilet seat right now, on the throne. I'm talking to you. Make sure you go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and you share right now. Talking to you. Please wash your hands after you get up too, okay? Talking about you. All right, hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to go on here, okay? Also, hey, look, if you haven't done so already, sign up. Become a member. Become a member of the channel. Would love to see you here. Want you to become part of the, all right, everybody say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Family. Want you to become part of the family. Let's go. In my Vin Diesel voice in Fast and Furious, okay? Yeah, super excited. I would love for you to sign up. Can I get 3 new members to the channel today? Can I get 3 new DWA for lives today? Hey, look, I just got some regular DWA awesome people. But can I get some DWA loyalty, DWA for life people up in here? Let me know. Would love to see you either upgrade your package or sign up, become a member of the channel. Would love to see that for you. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do right now in the chat is I'm going to put the link for you to join the channel. It is in the description below. But yeah, would love to see you there. Okay. So make sure you guys do that. Also, hey, look, if you want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, I won't be mad at you. Okay. I won't hold it against you. As a matter of fact, I'll give you another virtual hug. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Bam. Okay. Look, if you want to sign up, become a member, that's great. But if you want to donate, that's great too. There's 3 different ways you guys can do it. You can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat box, that little button there. You can click that. I don't care if it's $1. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. I will say if you use PayPal or Cash App, they take out less fees, which obviously helps the channel grow. So if you want to use PayPal, it's MSM Podcast Network, all one word, or you guys can use Cash App, MSM Podcast Network. I will tell you the links are in the description below, but if you want to use this, here are the links again, all up in the channel. All up in the channel. Let's go. All up in your channel. Yeah. Got to use my New York accent. We're all up in your channel. Okay, we're all up there. I don't know. That's probably a bad New York accent, but that's neither here or there. I'm sure Triple OG, D-Dub, who's my co-host on Thursday, will tell me if that's a really good accent or bad accent here in a minute. But yeah, make sure you guys do that. Also, want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of the show, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter. Hey, if you haven't signed up for them yet, I don't know what you're doing. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. Go download the app today. They got a lot of cool stuff. Follow Tail Greeter on social media, at Tail Greeter. Go follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. As a matter of fact, anything you tag today, why don't you tag Tail Greeter? You know what? That's what I'm going to have y'all do. Today, if you tag anything on Twitter or Instagram, make sure you tag Tail Greeter in it. Make sure you tag Tail Greeter. And just say, hey, I'm tagging you because Steven told me to. From Clock Blockers. Help me help you. Let them know that we're here and that we love Tail Greeter. Okay? Help my sponsor know that they're loved. You can let children know that you love them for only 25 cents. I'm just playing. Okay, that bad joke. But you knew what I was going with. All right? All right, hey, look, make sure you guys do that. Also, hey, follow me on social media. Follow me on Twitter. As a matter of fact, if I can get, there's 53 of y'all. Are all 53 of y'all follow me on Twitter right now? I know that number's climbing. We're going to get to like 150, 200 people this morning, I hope. Maybe 300 if we're lucky. If think about it. If everybody liked and if everybody shared on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at least one time on each this morning, I'm just saying we can grow. We can do it together as a movement. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and most importantly, love. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. True Blazer says, great content, though. Let's go. Trekker Sean says, horrible New York accent. Flipside said, forget about it. Forget about it. I love it. I love it. Jose Valdez, Steven, can you give my Rangers a shout out for slapping the Panthers the other day? Not gonna happen, son. Not gonna happen. You think I'm gonna give you and your New York team some love on this Miami channel? That ain't gonna happen, son. Not at all. Chef says, yes, please join us. Don't leave me in the DWA loyalty all by myself. Join the family. Level 2 noob is in the building. Let's go, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be hanging out with y'all today. All right, without further ado, let's bring on my co-host for the day. Shall we? Shall we? Each and every Thursday is Throwback Thursday, okay? And what I like to do is bring on the OG, triple OG, okay? And that is my man, none other, D-Dub. What's up, D-Dub?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Steven. Good morning, Finlaws. I got to tell you, I was hyped up. I was listening in the backstage, listening to the music, the turnover chain, and I was doing my street dance. I was getting my groove on in the chair. I was getting it. I was feeling it. I was feeling it because I needed some positivity because the last couple of days I needed to doggone feel some goodness, and the music got me feeling better. You know, I'm sitting here having my orange juice, and the way that things have gone, I thought about adding some vodka to it this morning.
Hey, look, I think a lot of fans might be joining me out there for a little morning cocktail. Let me tell you. Hey, look, so normally what we do is we kind of go over, some stuff that's going on in the sports world in South Florida. Obviously, we've taken over the sports and news world for that matter. But I don't get a chance to get this person on here. He's in the back room. I'm going to bring him on because I know he doesn't have a lot of time, and we're going to get his thoughts. But, D-Dub, we're going to get to all your thoughts. I know you got a lot to talk about. I'm going to get to my man's here in a minute. Oh, he just dropped. Where'd he go? All right, he should be back on in a second. I think you'll like who I got coming up. He should be back on. So, yeah, man, it's been a crazy week. It's been an absolutely crazy week. And I think one of the things that I've noticed from the rest of the fans that you'll see is just, I think, sadness, right? And just a kind of downtrodden vibe. And what I want to do on clock blockers or flip floppers is I want to change that. I want to change that. But I know a lot of people have a lot on their chest and they want to get off of it. So today we will do a panel for the fans, which I'm sure is going to get absolutely crazy. Anger is one of them. Look, I'm sure they've gone through all the steps of denial, and it's just, I'm sure all that's happened. All right, he said he's going to exit and comes back in. Okay, all right, so I've asked like 4 or 5 people to come in this morning, and 3 or 4 of them basically said, hey, look, I'm too angry to talk about anything right now. And I get that. People are just pissed,
First of all, quickly, before I even get into things, what up, big time 666, my man? What's going on?
Big time.
You and all my entertainment only brothers out there. Okay, what up to you? You have a situation, right? Or we have a situation. The Finlaws family has a situation. The Miami Dolphins have a situation.
Correct.
That requires measured emotions. So when I say measured emotions, all the emotions that you may be feeling are justified. Whether you feel anger, sadness, remorse, doubt, all those things, all those litany of emotions are valid, and you have a right to feel them. So whatever you feeling, you're right. As long as it doesn't involve any illegal activity, I mean, you can have a measured response to things. You can protest. If you feel as though you need to express your anger, but express it in a positive way. Express it in a positive way.
And look, we can say that, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have this, to be able to say this, right? To be able to be like, hey, look, we're all kind of upset right now. We're all kind of, just feeling in our own, however it is that we feel, whether it's anger, sadness, just like ultimately, I don't want to say that I'm not surprised. But it always just seems like it hits you like a wave, right? And that's kind of where we're at with this.
Stephen, we just witnessed a media machine do damage to an individual.
Yeah.
In pursuit of their own goals.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you for a second, D-Dub, because I know you got an agenda, and I know you want to get to it. And our guest just came on in the back room, so let me bring on our guest this morning.
Get him in.
My man, the touchdown with Doug Smith. My man, Doug Smith. What's up, Doug?
What's happening, everybody? Thanks for having me on, Stephen.
Thank you, man. For those of you who don't know, Doug has an amazing podcast himself, The Touchdown with Doug Smith. You can find it on YouTube. He also is all downloadable on all the platforms that you're able to download it on. First of all, man, besides everything going on, how are you, man?
Man, I'm hanging in there. Sorry about the little delay. Folks, message of the day, don't buy computers from Walmart. They're the devil.
They are the devil, I tell you. They're just the devil.
But I'm doing well, man. Hey, man, I beat COVID by the grace of God, man. I got a butyrol, so I got to take an inhaler. But, man, I'm healthy. My wife and kids are healthy, man. And good. Very grateful to be here today, man.
Look, man, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for joining me this morning. I know you wanted to come on yesterday and you weren't able to. But let me just start where everything is, man. Before we get into the specifics, let me just get your reaction over the last 72 hours.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you, man. My reaction, man, like D-Dub, I heard him say a moment ago, he's not surprised. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan for life, through and through, man. But I stand by Coach Brian Flores 1,000%. And it's time to, we wake the NFL up, because what happened was wrong. Firing Coach Brian Flores. Obviously, there were some issues, with the O-line, but man, if that's true, it's not shocking. But if it's true that Coach, the owner, Ross took and did that, that's not okay. That's definitely not okay to pay the tank. And there's people who, they give it their all every single game that they take and they play. So Coach Flo, he's a man of honor. We've seen that, whether it's rushing the whole bench of the Cincinnati Bengals, or doing what he has to do to take and build up the team, right? It's frustrating because I want us to win so bad. I'm 33, man, and I could count on one hand, not two, not three, not four, one hand, how many successful seasons that we've had.
You and I are the same age, and maybe our ages combined together, Doug, they still don't add up to D-Dubs. But that's neither here or there.
Wow.
That's true.
Neither here or there. Bang! Got one there.
Wow.
I love it. But yeah,
I'll put the guns in the holsters. I'll put them in the holsters.
First of all,
Coach,
I got memories older than y'all.
That's probably true.
I got memories older than y'all.
Don't let that turn to dust. Woo! Again, all right, I'll put them in the holster. Put them in the holster. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Doug.
No, you good. Hey, go here in a sec, but man, it's just I'm excited, but still just disappointed, man. It's just like, dang, every year it seems like, and when B-Flow came in, it's like a lot of the scandals went away. Coaches sniffing coke and players are having racial outbursts and all these different things. It seemed that things were really getting better.
A lot of off the field issues seem to go away. Now, there are reports that obviously contradict that. In other words, that maybe Flo might have been part of that or not. But let me ask you a couple specific questions. Number one, if you're looking at this situation as a whole, okay, I'm not saying that what Flores isn't doing, and I know what he is doing in the overall scheme of things will change the landscape of the entire NFL and maybe even professional sports, which has been needed for a very long time.
Yes.
But let's isolate this incident on its own merit, okay? And this is where D-Dub and I might disagree a little bit, and we might agree, and we're going to get into that this morning, D-W and I, which I'm excited to get into you with about it, but I want to ask you, Doug, why do you think that Flo chose to come out with this now? And what do you think the repercussions are for this franchise, the Miami Dolphins franchise, in the short term?
Yeah. It seems to me that this has happened a multitude of times. It's just now he finally has evidence, and then, of course, it seems to me that many other black coaches, have had these very similar instances. Well, we have one black coach in the NFL in the league that's 70% black. There's something wrong with that, and it's not, just give them a job because they're black. No, it's that there's tons of qualified black coaches. Why is this happening? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of garbage teams in the NFL. Come on, it's just, give them a chance, And then as far as repercussions go, I see us probably losing draft picks. I see us definitely getting fined. What I'd like to see Ross get fired. I would love to see him get fired. Chris Greer, I've never heard stuff as far as his merit as a person, but as far as the job, I appreciate, them. Hey, they went very O-line heavy, not last year, but the year before that. I appreciate, but when it comes to analyzing talent, this is what successful teams do, like the Patriots. This is what successful teams do, like the Kansas City Chiefs. They draft very smart. And that's where you build in the draft, okay? And then, of course, you want to build in free agency a little bit too. We have – yeah, what I would like to see and what I hope happens is that we clean house when it comes to that. My fear is that we get a coach like Mike McDaniels, who I would really like on the team, okay? Someone who appears to be competent, right? Because we don't know. He's never been a head coach before.
Correct.
But he comes in, and then we have someone else come in, and they don't like Mike, and he got to go, right? That's my fear, right? Because, like, dang, are we gonna take and be in the NFL purgatory this year? Like, what is
this year? We've been in NFL purgatory for 20 years, dude. I mean, I really we laugh, but like I feel like every time we turn our heads or we start to think we're coming up for air, right? And this franchise looks like they're starting to turn around. Bam! Something happens. A scandal breaks out. Some sort of off the field. I mean, like clockwork since Stephen Ross has owned the team, and so. Isolating it down to its bare bone, which for me is the Miami Dolphins, right? Let's take everything else out for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Dolphins, I think, are like right now, the franchise is set up to fail over the next 3, 5, maybe even 10 years moving forward because of the repercussions. You're going to, obviously, in my opinion, I think you're going to have a transfer of ownership. Last night at like midnight, at like 11:55, okay, there was a statement released from Stephen Ross himself. And so this is from Daniel Oyefusi, who retweeted it. Statement from Stephen Ross. This is a quote. With regards to the allegations being made by Brian Flores, I am a man of honor and integrity and cannot let them stand without responding. I take great personal exceptions to these malicious attacks, and the truth must be known. His allegations are false, malicious, and defamatory. We understand that there are media reports stating that the NFL intends to investigate his claims, and we will cooperate fully. I welcome that investigation, and I am eager to defend my personal integrity and the integrity and values of the entire Miami Dolphins organization from these baseless, unfair, disparaging claims. Let me tell you something right off the bat that I have a huge problem with, okay? Whether you're innocent or not in this case, Mr. Ross, there was no positive that came from this statement. And let me tell you why. Because now you're in a he said, she said game. That's one, right? Nobody can come out with like, and number two, you're now stating that a black head coach, a former head coach in the NFL, who's suing the NFL, your team, and 2 other teams for racial implications, defamatory remarks about his integrity, as well as you're also being accused of taking pay for losses. You're now like that. There's no good look that comes from that from Mr. Ross. And even if he's 100% right, like I cannot believe personally that his PR people let him come out with a statement, let alone at 11:55 last night, which was like, you're going to come out with a statement at 11:55 p.m. Like that's going to make any difference? It's still going to be picked up by every news organ. Like, personally, I think one of two things. He did not like these malicious attacks, and the truth must be known. Even if Brian Flores is lying, which I think there is a lot of truth, I don't think you can make some of the statements he has without having information.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it'll hold up, it'll be in a court of law. It's going to be investigated. I'm not worried about that point. But there is no good thing that comes for the Miami Dolphins or Stephen Ross by making a release statement to what's already been said to him at this point, right? It's already out there. So you play it in court, you let the court play it out, and then you come up with a statement afterwards. It's a lose-lose situation. And by the way, you know who loses even more in all this by this statement? D-Dub, me, you, all of us, the fans. We all lose more. Like it's a merry-go-round that we can't get off the cycle.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Now, D-Dub, I know you have a lot to say. So I'm going to let you kind of take the floor for a second because you obviously feel one way about Mr. Ross and one way about Coach Flores. There's a lot of things that play into this from the standpoint of, racial integrity as well as, changing a culture that needs to be changed as the stock market opens, I hear there. And then, there's a lot of D-Dub is our local resident stock person. So when you hear that, the stock market opens. But there's a lot of things. So D-Dub, I'm going to let you take the floor for a second.
So, first of all, just to correct you, touchdown Doug, with respect to what the expectations are, and I know what you meant, but the owner, he can't be fired. He'd have to be bought out, and I think that's one of the ramifications of it. So there was some comments in the comment section, and I just want to put that out there so everybody would leave you alone with that.
Yeah, leave Doug alone. We all knew what he said by selling the team. He meant sell the team or be forced to sell the team. Leave my man Doug alone.
Now,
thank you guys. Appreciate you.
This process from the time, and we're just gonna talk about the firing.
Yeah.
From the firing, until to a couple of days ago, was disparaging to Brian Flores. They put out all this stuff about him not being able to work well with others, and all these different items. And then come to find out that the genesis of all of this was something that was done by the owner, and the owner created the hostile work environment. Let's put it in the right language. A hostile work environment. Now, with respect to the future of the Dolphins, I've been a Dolphin fan since 1971.
Woo!
Okay.
That's beautiful.
D-Dub, that's some years, brother.
That's why I say when I got memories older than you, I got memories older than you.
I sure do, because I wasn't born in 1971, D-Dub.
So what I say, and I said this to a couple of my friends in my other group, if these allegations are true with respect to the 100K and the tampering, I'm going to suspend my fandom until they make an ownership change. Too many times,
because the integrity of the game would then been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have now put the integrity of the game and the team at risk. Okay. Now, Manolo, I see your comment, and I heard about all of those things. When you have, let's put it this way, and I'm gonna delve.
You're trying to use your words carefully. Don't worry about your words, D-Dub. Be honest.
Okay.
Tell me how you feel,
because I don't want to put anything in the swear jar. Okay. Now, when you have a African American in a position of authority, and he's telling people what to do, not say all, there are some people who, just for the fact that he's in that position, it rubs them, that irks them. Okay, so all of that. So kill me with Manolo, dead that with that nonsense. Okay, because it's automatic. It starts out that way. I've been there. So it starts that way, and then because he wants to win, because he knows the history, he knows that a lot of coaches are one and done. I mean, we can look through the record and see how many coaches, black coaches that have won and have been fired after one season. So he's going to hit the ground running like fire, with his hair on fire.
Level 2 Noob said he had your swear jar if you need to go in.
Plus, I'm taking care of my parents, so I don't want to be disrespectful in their house. Okay. So you have a situation where the coach has to win to prove himself right off the bat. he's in a bad situation. They don't rip the studs. They don't rip the floorboards. They don't rip it everything out of the organization. He's asked to lose, and he knows that if he does that, he will never get another job again, more than likely, because even black coaches that have been successful have not gotten a second opportunity, let alone if they have a terrible record, and you're asking a black man to be a scapegoat for future success and not going to benefit from it, and it's going to be a detriment to his career. And that's why all these things, this 100K is such a big issue, as well as the fact that it's been reported that during this time, Stephen Ross was investing in a sports
And again,
operation.
so that's all hearsay. We don't know that.
That's why I said allegedly. That's why I said allegedly.
Right, now,
and if he is doing that, if he was doing that, as well as asking a coach to tank, that's going to involve.
It's going to involve a lot of different things.
A lot of different things. It may put the antitrust exemption at risk.
Correct. Doug, I know you got to get out of here. I want to let you say any final things and promote whatever you need to promote, man.
Oh, for sure. No, thank you, man. Yeah, no, your boy's unemployed, so I'm interviewing like crazy.
Get your money, man. Go get your money.
Thank you. D-Dub, it's my first time working with Steven, man. You guys are both beautiful souls, man, so I really appreciate this moment to be here.
I'm beautiful on the outside and the inside.
Hey, Doug, I'll hit you. I will follow you on Twitter, bro. And for somebody who's this old, for me to even realize about following you on Twitter, and I got it.
D-Dub's like, I'll follow you. I'll follow you on the Twitter sphere. All right, I'll follow you on that tweety stuff.
Yeah.
But to Manolo's point in the comment section, you know, he said he's we'll say a jerk, right? There's a lot of coaches who are like that, and we don't say anything because. What? Because they're white.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard.
It's a double standard. We don't say about Bill Belichick when he's, you know.
Bill, you can't use the Belichick because Belichick is the GOAT. He can do. Him and Saban can literally do whatever they want to a certain.
There's a lot of other coaches. I can't think off the top of that, but there are a lot of other coaches who are not the friendliest. They lose a game and they're throwing their players underneath the bus. We've seen this throughout the years, right?
Yeah.
Why not allow Coach? And I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but why not allow Coach Flo? Why is it a problem when he does it? You know, there seems to be a problem.
You were not wrong, 100%. I agree with you.
For those who don't know me, you know, I was homeless as my senior year of high school, and I got taken in by a Jamaican Panamanian family, black family, in other words, and to see my adopted father, you know, who's almost a general in the Air Force, he's a full bird colonel. People didn't want to take orders from him. It's a problem when is simply just doing his job. There seems to be a problem in America. Okay, and I love America. I love this country. God bless America. God bless all of you. If you disagree, but I have to say this, there seems to be a problem when a person of color is in charge and you tell someone what to do, and there's just like, it's like infuriating, you know? And I've seen it firsthand with my dad, and I could see that that's definitely a possibility that what happened with Coach Flo. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating. So I love the Dolphins. I want us to work this out, you know? But
some people don't want to hear what is some people's realities. And see, that's the problem. When you close your ears to what is somebody else's reality, it gets frustrating because here you have.
It's a conversation that needs. It's a conversation that needs. I don't mean to interrupt you, Doug, because I want to make sure Doug's good on time. But it's a reality of the world that we live in, and it's a conversation that needs to be had. And I think it all honestly comes down to dollars and cents. I think at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people would agree with me. It has to do with where the money is. Doug, before I let D-Dub, because D-Dub and I are really going to get into this and break this down. Is there anything else you want to say before you go, man? Because I know you want to.
Yeah, man. Hey, one of my favorite Bible scriptures, man, if I have a little church for a minute, is it's in the book of Galatians. Bear your brother's burden, for this is the law of Christ, man. So just try to understand where people are coming from. If you don't, your heart is so hardened, check your heart. I've had to do it myself for other situations, right? Just check your heart, folks. Let's be better as a people, and then that's all I got, man. Steve, thank you for having me on, man.
Doug, thank you for coming on, man. And when you get a chance to really come on and break this thing down, I know you wanted to get your initial thoughts out there in the open with the fan base, but I want to make sure that you were able to. So we're gonna break this thing down more. Thanks for coming on, Doug. I appreciate it.
Sir. God bless you. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Hey, bye. Hey, Doug, stay safe, man.
You too.
Hey,
you as well. Have a good day, y'all.
Hey, Steven.
What's up, D-Dub? Where did you go? You can't just walk off camera, D-Dub.
Okay, I gotta admit, I had to smoke a cigarette, man. I had to smoke a cigarette, and I can't smoke in the house.
First,
I don't smoke in my house.
You know what's funny? So D-Dub and I have been doing this every Thursday now, and we're gonna get into all this. But D-Dub does what he wants. D-Dub, get back to I gotta go smoke a cigarette. You know, cigarettes aren't cool in 2022, D-Dub. But I can't tell D-Dub that because D-Dub's gonna do what he do. Like there's like that's why OG. That's why D-Dub is OG, triple OG, OG.
I'm a grown man.
Can't tell me nothing.
Somebody said they got me on the square jaw. I'm a grown ass man.
All right, level 2 noob. All right, level 2 noob.
But I'll be back in about a minute or so. But you know what? Just to circle back to the Throwback Thursday portion and tie this in. I remember watching Tom Flores, who was Hispanic American, okay, win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then I remember Wayne Fontes getting his chance to coach. And this is in the 70s and 80s. And then finally Art Shell in 88, 89, he got his opportunity with the Raiders. And he was given 4 or 5 years, okay, to build. And they went to the playoffs. They didn't win a Super Bowl, but he had good teams. Got let go. Okay, so when you think about what has occurred in the recent history of the NFL with respect to coaches, okay, where you have basically coaches, the opportunities for them as black coaches to get the worst jobs and then expected to do things detrimental to their future hirings by allegedly, and now we got a second one coming in, Hugh Jackson, okay, saying that he also was told to lose games and paid, and he said he got the receipts. This is a behavior that cannot continue. It cannot. And with respect to the organization, okay, yes, the Miami Dolphin organization diversified. Numerous examples in the organization of hiring long-term people, minorities of, in positions of authority, okay, minority ownership that have minorities in those positions, okay, but at the key position for a team, and I'm not even going to address the GM portion of it, okay, because I think Greer may have some culpability in some of this as well. But to ask Flores to purposely lose, and it doesn't matter whether you're from the New England Patriots or the Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders, or the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers, or any organization, to hire somebody to come in and purposely lose, to do detrimental damage to their career to the point where it impacts their future employability.
Well, look. Let me interrupt for a second, D-Dub. So I think that a couple things needs to be said. Number one, I'm going to put you on mute for a second because you have some background noise. I I think when you look at the overall experience of what the Dolphins, of what Stephen Ross's culpability is in this particular, movement of how do I change the culture? How do I move my franchise in a different direction? Let me state from the beginning. I believe Stephen Ross intended to do good with every move. Now, he went about it negatively. He went about it the wrong way. He went about it in a way that his integrity should be questioned if all these allegations prove to be true, right? So let's go break it down. If he was offering Brian Flores $100,000 for loss, there are so many ramifications, and I was trying to make this explanation yesterday, that the NFL has to realize that they are going to, it's going to move oceans. You have to realize that, give me a second to really break this thing down step by step. Number one, in the last 3 years, you have moved an NFL franchise to Las Vegas with the intention of upping your integration or your fan relation with sports gambling. That was its main goal. There's no other goal to move a team to Las Vegas. It was to say, hey, look, we are accepting this as a way of life now in sports. ESPN's bottom ticker for many years was just the sports scores. Now it has the over-under, the point spread. They have shows on ESPN dedicated to prop bets and fantasy sports, and it's all one big thing. And by the way, it's the reality of what it is. But if you go back and look at the history of the biggest sports scandals of all time, most of them involve money and fixing games. Tim Donaghy, the NBA referee. You go to 1919 to the Chicago Black Sox scandal with shoeless Joe Jackson.
You got issues in football.
Yep,
Alex Karras and the Detroit Lions.
Yep. And then obviously, you got Pete Rose, right? And so you also have, is this, if Hugh Jackson, who was a former head coach in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns and
the Oakland Raiders
and has been a coach in football for many, many years, he's coming out and stating publicly, hey, look, the Browns paid me money for losses when I was in Cleveland. Well, you know what this tells me, D-Dub? That this is a practiced thing that is within NFL culture. This isn't just something that's isolated to the Dolphins. This is something that's practiced, that this has happened before. Now,
go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So now let's break that down. Well, why is this a practice method? Well, we can go to the race card here and we'll play the slave mentality, right? White owners doing whatever they need to do to make more money in whatever way, shape, or form it costs, right? We can also look at it from a standpoint of, hey, look, I want my team, my professional franchise to be successful. How do I go ahead and turn this thing around in the quickest way? Well, there's a reason that the NBA has a draft lottery, people, because the NBA had a storied history of teams tanking at the end of the season to get the highest draft pick to change their franchise. Do you think the Cleveland Cavaliers were just, look, there's a lot, I don't know if that's actually the best scenario, but you have to understand there's a reason that the NBA has a draft lottery. I was about to say, well, look, LeBron James, it was by chance. It was luck. It was a draft lottery that got drafted to Cleveland, right?
It's easier for an NBA team to turn its franchise around with one player because you're only dealing with 12 players, 11 players
Correct.
on a roster. So it's much easier. But
let's look at the Joe Burrow situation, D-Dub. Joe Burrow, arguably one of the best quarterbacks to be drafted in the last 10 to 15 years. Any argument there? I'm not saying the best, but arguably one of the best, right?
No, he's up there.
And so he's up there. And his draft prospect from a league view was, this kid's got it. He's got the goods. Okay?
Yep.
So there's a reason that the Dolphins offered the Cincinnati Bengals 3 first-round draft picks and then some, and the Bengals were like, no way. But the reality is, if Ross had been successful and what his original intent, let me say alleged, because we don't know. I'm going to personally say I believe that it did happen. That's just me. Okay, but I don't have anything to base that off of other than a gut feeling and what's been provided to me as evidence through the media, which can be BS. You and I both know. So what I believe happened is Flores is a man of integrity when it comes to I'm not going to lose games to lose games. If I have an opportunity to win a game, that's what I'm going to do. That's what you came in here to do, to hire me for. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, he wins 5 out of his last 7 games, if I'm correct, or 5 out of his last 8. And he moves the train in it. Yeah, 5 out of 9. Okay. And he moves that train in a different direction. But if he had have stuck to the losses, this entire franchise is totally different right now. Now, with that being said, if you're a man of integrity, how do you live with yourself saying, hey, I threw games that way? Now, it wasn't, let's get something straight. It wasn't his idea to lose games for the sake of, I want to win more money, so lose the game so I can win money. It was lose games so that so we can turn this franchise around. His intent came from a good place, but it was a bad thing. And the integrity of the game, you have to understand, if you set a precedent for that there, then you open the door for a million other things that can happen, all which for the most part, 99.9% are all negative.
Well, first of all, okay, everybody has their role in the organization, right?
Yep.
So the GM picks plays and manages salary cap. There's dollar crunchers, number crunchers for salary cap. You know, everybody's got their role on the team. The coach is supposed to coach to win games, okay? And the owner, he owns the team, okay? Now, like I said, the coach coaches to win games. It's the GM and the coach and the talent acquisition team is supposed to go out there, find the best find the best players with the situation that they're in. Okay. Now, the situation was they had the number 5 pick in the draft.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you're supposed to go out there and find the best players to be successful at your current situation.
Yeah.
You can't have buyer's remorse and say, oh, well, we didn't get the number 1 pick, so we're not going to pick the best players. Okay. So that scenario where, oh man, we missed out on the number 1 guy. So, we can't do anything to change our future. I can't buy it like that, the way it was laid out, because the coach, he's supposed to win games. GM's supposed to get talent acquisition. Okay. You missed out on Burrow. So what? You missed out on Herbert. You missed out on a lot of different.
There's a million. So
Yeah.
to break this down, there are a million different things that one different choice. Like we said this yesterday, we broke it down to 3 separate things in the last 3 years, and there's a million more things. You make one different decision the other way, just one, you change the course of this franchise for the future. Okay, that's one, right? You pick Herbert over Tua. You decide to you end up losing the Cincinnati game instead of winning it. There's a million different things that could have changed the course of this franchise when it comes to being how do we change the culture of this. Now, what I will say at the epicenter of all this, because there's a million different storylines. There's the race storyline. There's Ross's incompetence as an owner. There's the integrity of Ross. There's the integrity of Flores. There's the racial discrimination. The understanding as a culture of the NFL with the slave mentality. There is a million different storylines with this. If it comes to fruition, that there is proof of bribery, of taking money for losses, it's going to be a tsunami that's not only going to affect the Dolphins, but it's going to affect the entire NFL. It's going to affect how they deal with their sponsors, with FanDuel, with DraftKings, with I need y'all to understand this is a multi-billion-dollar tsunami that we're going to deal with.
Not just that, with Procter and Gamble, with Tide, with
100%.
Toyota, with all of the sponsors, and just to address Joe Covillion, can't wait till we're talking football again. This is football. This is the reality of football.
I mean, and
again,
this is what the storyline is right now.
You don't want to close your ear. You want to close your ears to what's going on with football. Then you want to close your ears to everything, because this is part of football. It's just that some people have pushed it to the side because it doesn't impact them.
All right, well, let me talk. So one of the things that I found very interesting yesterday is people were bringing up, well, how can Brian Flores be a man of integrity when he chose to bring this lawsuit up after he didn't get an NFL job, right? And then the subsequent comment of that was, well, when Kenny Stills, who's been a huge advocate for racial discrimination within the NFL and rights and advocacy to bring more people of color into management positions in ownership within the NFL, he had a tweet yesterday, a few tweets that I think we should take a look at. Number one. This is from Kenny Stills. First of all, I want to say that my situation with Coach Flores has nothing to do with his lawsuit with the league. He did what he did then. Hindsight is always 20/20. Next, he says, what Flo is doing now takes courage, and I hope he inspires others to share their stories. It's obvious we need more minorities in leadership positions, ownership, GMs, front office, and league office. Then the question is, how do we do that? Make a pledge over the next 10 years, a certain percentage of our league will be minority-owned, led, et cetera, et cetera. We're past painting end zones and putting stickers on our helmets. We're past doing partnership and using prominent black folks as pawns in the scheme. Performative isn't what we need. We need measurable organizational steps. My last thought on the situation with Flores is this is a lesson on empathy. Let's not wait until the situation affects us personally to take action. I hope the league comes to their senses and that his efforts are a huge part in creating the change the game needs. So, number one, I personally think he's about 90% right with everything that he said. The only thing I disagree with Kenny on, and it's not that I disagree, it's I don't know if it'll work, is I don't know if you can make a pledge over the next 10 years to say that the league's going to be minority owned. You can't force teams to sell, so that it becomes minority owned. I just don't think that can happen. But
yeah, you can. With in this situation with the Miami Dolphins, if they
it should go to minority. I think they should nix the deal that they have with Bill. And I think and right now you already have one other NFL team that is up for sale with the Denver Broncos. So you have a chance to put two minority coaches. Now here's the other thing to this, D-Dub. We can say this, but how many multi-billionaires how many minority multi-billionaires are interested in buying the team? That's the totally other next question to this, right? So it's not like anybody's come out and said, hey, I want to own an NFL team. I'm a minority. Let's make this happen.
Well, maybe now if you announce that, hey, one is for sale and we want a minority owner, you might come up with 3 or 4 because all it takes is one.
All it takes is one.
And
you're right.
I may not be able to rattle off 15 or 20, but I'm sure there's at least 3. Sure there's at least 3 that have the assets to do it. Yep. Okay, it may not be 100 or 150 like they are in other races, but there's at least 3.
The other thing, there's 2 other things that in this Kenny Stills statement on Twitter that I thought were very, very interesting, right?
Thank you, Ronald. 724 billionaires, only 7 are black. Okay. So you got 7. You got a pool of 7 right there.
Yeah, but again, it goes to how many of those
Yeah.
sevens are interested in
Yeah.
owning an NFL team, right?
Well,
So
who wouldn't be? It's the biggest candy store in the world right
I don't
now.
know. I
You
mean,
got
not everybody
guaranteed,
has
you got guaranteed,
aspirations to be an
you got,
NFL owner.
you
It's a
got
whole thing in
guaranteed
its own,
profits. Got guaranteed profits.
right? All right, so here's another thing. The second thing that I thought was interesting, and there's 3 things. I'm gonna get to all 3. He says we're
Mhm.
past painting end zones and putting stickers on helmets. We're past doing partnerships and using prominent black folks as pawns in the scheme. Performative isn't what we need. We need measurable organizational steps. I 100% agree with this. I think in all ways, shapes, or form, like stickers, marches, national anthems, whatever, like none of that is making a difference when it comes to actually making the change. It's putting a band-aid on what a bigger problem is there, right? I don't think most people would disagree with me there. Even most black people, I don't think would disagree with me. So, am I wrong, D-Dub, in thinking that?
No. There's a little squabble going on in the chat.
There's always
Okay.
squabbles going. I
Now,
ignore it. I
now,
ignore it.
now, I
Just
just want to
ignore
say
it,
this.
D-Dub.
I just want to say this in response to it. Okay. And I think I explained this before, but there
The
is a
chat is their
difference.
own thing. I literally
There
just
is a
like
there's
I
a
can't
difference
pay attention
between
to it.
being a racist and being bigoted. And look it up, people. I'm tired of it. There's a difference between being bigoted and being a racist. Okay. Now, continue. Continue, Mr.
Thank you. I'll continue with my morning show. Thank you, D-Dub. But I think that's kind of where we go. Now, the very last thing that I thought was very interesting in Kenny Still's statement was his last thought, right? And he goes on to say, my last thought on the situation with Flo is this is a lesson on empathy. I think he meant to say honor and empathy. All right. Let's not wait until the situation affects us personally to take action. Okay. I hope the league comes to their senses and that his efforts are a huge part in creating the change the game needs. We talked about this when we had the gentleman, a couple of the guys on yesterday morning.
Mhm.
That you say what you want. Even Stills looks at it as, bro, this isn't a good look the way this was presented. And so is he doing the right thing? Yes. But he did it in reaction to something that happened to him, not because I'm going to come out and this is the right thing to do. Now, with
Okay.
that being said, and I
I
know,
don't agree with that.
okay,
I don't agree with that. So I think that he had things occur in his past and his present that, and looking at long distance pass as well,
Mhm.
that spurred the need for this right now. Okay. And there have been situations that have occurred that could have brought about this same lawsuit previously, but he chose now because he had the evidence, he had the chips, and he pushed his chips in.
I,
That's why.
I,
Not
I,
Go ahead.
I think I'm sorry. I'm literally getting like tons of text messages just about stuff that has to do with the show this morning. So the thing that I would say is to this, D-Dub, is I think when you're looking at it from Flores' perspective, is what he is doing the right thing? Yes, I think so. But I personally think that there's a lot of other things that are in this, and if he had a head coaching job right now, this never would have came out. Whether that's
Well,
with us, whether that's with the Giants, whether that's whatever.
well, guess what?
And you have to agree with that, right?
You know what?
If he had a head coaching job, I don't think that this would have come out.
Well, it could have,
And by
because
the way,
we can't answer that. We can't answer that.
That's
Okay,
fine. That's fair. We can't answer that, but we can.
because he had things in the past that happened to him. Okay,
Understand.
he had the Denver issue, and
Okay.
there's other and there's other precedents or other instances where things similar to this
I
have
have
occurred.
a question to you, D-Dub. Why bring up the Stephen Ross bribery for
Okay,
losses now?
okay, and I tell you why.
Why now?
Because
Because it has nothing to do with the racial inequality, in my
yes, it does.
opinion.
Yes, it does.
Okay, break it
Yes,
down
it
for
does.
me.
Okay, now, uh, you have a hostile work environment
Okay.
that is brought about because as a black coach, he is expected, or yes, he's expected by the owner to lose because his career is not as worthy as others. And
So why not state right there in the moment publicly, hey, my owner just bribed me for losses. Here's the evidence.
you
Why not say it in the moment, D-Dub?
that's a question for Flores.
I
But
understand
I
that.
can say, but you asked why. You asked why it was brought up. You didn't
Okay.
ask. So I'm answering why it's a factor in this.
I'm stating why bring it up now
Okay,
when
so
you
you
had a
gotta
chance to bring it up 2 years ago
yes,
or last year.
because everything is like it builds up. It builds up. All these slights
I get that.
build up.
I
So
get that.
that's why it's brought up now rather than 2 years ago. Now,
Now let me
when you
state this. There is a side of me. There is a part that I think that it goes to. Are we victim blaming here? Are we victim shaming here? Right? And I think you can use that in the scenario, D-Dub, because it's like, well, you're blaming the victim of this who and I use that in quotations and as something, just a point of view. I'm not saying that he is or he isn't. I'm just stating that you would never tell, a victim of sexual assault that, right? So why would it, but I don't know if you can use that scenario in this situation. And my question is am I victim shaming by saying, hey, look, Flo, why are you bringing it up now that you didn't get a job, and you didn't bring it up? If you're a man of integrity, of such great integrity, you would have brought it up then. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I looking at that wrong? I'm asking. I don't know.
well, like I said, you have a cumulative effect. And sometimes people come to a realization sooner or later. It doesn't matter when they come to that realization, they've come to that realization that something is wrong. Now,
Mhm.
maybe Flores at that time 2 years ago, yeah, he knew it was wrong, but he didn't feel as frustrated. He didn't
Because
feel
he
as
didn't want to
slight.
get fired.
And
He didn't want to get blackballed.
that that
But
that
but
all
the,
could be playing a factor into it.
and by the way, I'm helping your point out by stating that it wasn't until the Denver situation and then the Giants situation where he's like, all
Well,
right, guys, well, this is one too many.
well, and like I said, you know, you keep adding water, and soon enough, it gets to the point where, hey, enough is enough.
I understand.
Enough is enough. 2000, that Denver incident happened, I think, in 2019 before he was hired with Miami. Then you got the incident in 2019 with Ross, supposedly all these things. Then you got the 2020 incident with the tampering, and then you get the firing, the unfair, the hostile work environment, and then the firing, and then you get the Giant stuff.
Is there something to be said, D-Dub, of Flores was not ever able to bring in a competent coordinator for a long period of time, right? Like couldn't keep Caldwell, couldn't keep Chad Smith, couldn't keep who's the other guy? Why am I having a brain fart here? The guy that Fitzpatrick likes, former the OC. Why
Chad
help me out here.
Gailey.
Chan Gailey. Couldn't keep Chan. right? There's something to be said that you couldn't, you had Kyle Van Noy, you couldn't keep veterans here for a long period of time because like I personally think it was he could not work well with others. And that isn't based on any media outlet. That's based on my theory of not seeing veterans stay long, not having coaches that have more experience or better suited for offense than you. You had two OC. Like, to me, that's incompetence. That isn't anything that has no racial. Like, to me, that's what that looks like from the outside in.
So let's do this, okay? With the player contracts, they're designed that after the first year they get their bonus, and then the contract is more favorable for the team to cut them or release them. Okay, more favorable. I'm not saying it doesn't cost, but it's more favorable. So in the situation with Kyle Van Noy, we all know he didn't perform to that contract.
He was playing like
we all know that he did not perform to the fullness of that contract. How many sacks did he have?
Bro,
How many
really?
sacks did he have?
So
you went there with it. So, they made a decision to move on from him when it was more contract favorable. Now,
the rumor is Greer wanted to keep him. Flores wanted him gone.
Right. So
now that could be a numbers game because as a GM, you're looking at it from a contract point of view. But even still, D-Dub, like it just like I get.
How many games did Van Noy miss?
Okay, Van Noy's. What about Ted Karras? Why didn't Ted Karras stay another year? Ted Karras looked really good on the O-line for Mac Jones.
He wasn't. Yeah, but he wasn't performing here.
It was 1 year.
By
the way, it was 1 year, and you're still in a rebuild for those. Like, that's fine. I disagree with you, D-Dub, on that. But what I will state there is, and this is my view of looking at it, okay, is if Flores had have said when everything went down, hey, dude, look, I was bribed to take losses by my owner, and I'm going to resign and let this play out, he would be looked at differently than how he looks now. Because now the media, and granted, you and I have both different yet unique, somewhat even same in certain areas, disdain for the national media, right? Society is looking at him from a standpoint right now, good, bad, or indifferent, D-Dub, as a scorned ex-girlfriend who's making a lot of noise because he didn't get his way, right? And his complaints are with merit. They're not without merit. I agree. I think 90% of everything he says, I would actually maybe even say all of it to a certain extent. There's truth in all of it. The question is, why come out with some of it now? And as far as the racial stuff is concerned, which I 100% agree needs to be done. All right. I think when you're looking at it from that standpoint, I have no problem with that. I think you should. I think he's going to be the first one to go through the brick wall. I don't think he'll ever be a head coach again in the NFL based on all this. That's just my personal view of it. I think he's 100% on point. But my hope is you're trying to send a message out about racial disparity and a lot of problems within the NFL that has to do with race. The Rooney Rule's a joke, but at the same time, you're looking at it from, you're bringing other things into this, and so now it's like, hold on, dude, why are you bringing this into it? And I get your point
because it's a class action suit, and you have to bring a lot of things to create a class for that lawsuit. You have to have an umbrella of things for people to fall in under.
I get it. I'm just telling you how it looks. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying my way of looking at it is right. I'm not saying that it'll change. I'm Mr. Flip-Flopper himself. I can flip-flop tomorrow on how I feel about it, D-Dub.
And let me ask this. When is it a good time to bring bad news?
Never. It's
When
never
is
a good
when
time.
is the right time? So
Never. Never
so
a good time.
so why ask the question? Well, why bring it up now? Because it's never a good time to bring this up. Now we got
Manolo brings up another good question. Why didn't Flores hire more minorities? He had
Yes, he
5
did.
minorities on his coaching staff
There you
out of
go.
12 or 13.
I was getting ready to address that. I was getting ready to address that. Okay. I was. Patrick Graham was his defensive coordinator. Okay. The first year. So come on. You stop throwing stuff up on the wall and seeing if it'll stick, people.
But it's a question. But D-Dub, it's a question people are asking. So doesn't that make it by the sense that society or the fans are asking it, make it of value?
So if he waits, let's say this. Let's say he waits till he gets another during this process, right? Say he waits and he doesn't get hired for this during this cycle, and then he gets another job, and then at that point he files a lawsuit. Is that a good time? Would
No,
that
it's
be
not.
better? Okay, so then there's no good time for this lawsuit. There's no good time for it. It's just that right now with the avalanche of stuff that has happened to him over the last 3 years, he said enough is enough is enough. In the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay.
And D-Dub, for the record, I loved Kenny Stills while he was here. A lot of people didn't. I loved Kenny Stills and everything he did off the field. A lot of people didn't. I supported Kenny Stills. I support Brian Flores and this movement to be the first. I think he's in for a world of pain when it comes to what he's about to go through. But I also, and that same sentence, D-Dub, because two things can be true, right? I also believe
love that. I love that.
two things can be
I love
true.
how people use that.
But it's a factual statement. I don't think he was a good head coach. I don't.
I think that if you look at the record, the Dolphins did not have consecutive winning seasons since 2003.
And no, people would say you got an extra game, and that's why you got the second consecutive season.
And guess what? Guess what? You play
to win the game.
Schedule, you play the schedule that you're given. Okay. And in that light, 2 winning seasons, okay, out of 3. His first year, everybody was talking about he should be 0-16.
Yep.
He went 5-11. Okay. There's no justification for him not getting a chance to fix what was wrong with his coaching, with managing his staff, or picking a OC, or picking a DC. He earned the chance to get it right. And that's the thing that upset me about this firing to begin with. He earned the right to do that. And you can say that he didn't get he's how how can you say that he's not a good leader when
I have
there are
plenty of theories to back up that statement.
And I got plenty of theories to refute it. So
it's a view, it's a perspective of view, right?
No, it's how you want to. It's not even a perspective of view.
How not?
It's what facts you want to use in your
So
stance.
two things can be right, D-Dub.
Okay.
Right.
When I said I love how people use it, because that's a new way of not taking a stance.
I get that, but in this particular situation, in this conversation, you have to understand. I look at it as Flores could not the mistake. Here's the thing: if Flores, huge if, gets another chance to coach, I think it'll be he'll learn from his mistakes, and at least the hope would be, and he'll bring in more experienced coordinators to be able to do things better for him. Now, with that being said,
We lost a coach that could have led us to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm pissed off about because
but he wasn't doing it on the offensive side, D-Dub. Look at our offense. It was stagnant. That's why we went 9-8.
And that's why I said he deserved a chance to fix it.
I'm not saying he didn't, but his track record also proved that every chance we gave him a chance to fix it, he made the wrong decision. Chad Smith, Chan Gailey, George Godsey. Who's the fourth guy, y'all? Help me out here. Who's the other the co-OC? I'm just saying we gave him Studsville, Eric Studsville.
So again, when you have a winning record, you get an opportunity to fix what went wrong.
I get that.
Okay.
I understand.
And he was not given that. So if you understand that,
I disagree.
And see, that's the problem. That's the problem when you look at what has occurred. Because since 1978, 16 winning teams fired their head coaches. Okay. That's 3%. 3%. Now, out of those 16, 4 of those firings were black coaches.
Okay.
So therefore, you have black coaches 3.5 times more likely to be fired after having a winning season than their white counterparts.
Okay.
3.5 times more likely. Even though they have a winning season, that's got to things like that have to change.
Okay, so the first thing that needs to change is you need to give a coach a minimum of 3 years to start the turn of a franchise around. Okay, that's one. Okay, any coach that gets less than 3 years didn't get a fair shake. Number 2, you also need everybody on the same page. You look at most successful franchises, most people are on the same page. And when they're not, they at least respect the person who's making the decision to know that they have a track record that's proven.
Well, guess what? When the owner comes to you in your first season and says, hey, I want you to lose, and then when you win is pissed at you and continues to be pissed at you to create a hostile work environment, there's no way you can be on the same page.
Okay, so doesn't that play more into the scenario? Doesn't that play more into the viewpoint, D-Dub, that Flores had to go? Because they weren't doing it together. There was no cohesiveness.
So, you know what? You got a bad owner. You got no
argument from me there. I think he's.
And that's why
I'm about to make a real statement. I'll say that I think he's the worst owner in all of sports, and that includes Daniel Snyder and Jerry Jones and all.
Well, I don't think he's worse than James Dolan of the Knicks.
Well, okay, all right. So maybe all right. He's not worse than James Dolan. You're right about that, but I would go as far to say, man, he's one of the worst.
He's gotten himself into more trouble, even publicity-wise, even more than Donald Sterling. Because now, not only did you mess up the image and mess up and race, but you messed up with the money. You impacting the money of all 32 of your owners in a significant way. Not just where your team is impacted, but the money, the P&L of all 32 teams. Okay.
Look, I get some of these people in the chat are not agreeing with me, and I want to hear from you. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to open up the panel. 2 things. Number 1, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button.
I'm gonna mute myself. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hey, why don't you go handle that, D-Dub, and then come right back. All right, hey, look. So basically, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up the panel for you guys. It's going to get crazy. I ask you a few things. Number one, the swear jar is in full effect. Okay. Please do not. Number two, no personal attacks towards other people. That ain't going to have them. You start personally attacking somebody, I'll give you a warning. If you do it after that, you're gone. Okay. That's another. Okay. We're going to spread kindness, we're going to try to be as positive as we can, and we're going to spread love here. And people are going to have differing opinions, and that's fine. That's part of doing the fan panel. So that's what we're about to do right now. The other thing I want to remind you all too is please hit that like button. Only 69 likes. Come on, hit the like button. And also, please go on Twitter and tag people when you share this. Let people know. Go on Facebook. Share this link. Say, hey, guys, come and take a listen. I want to get more than 146 people watching right now. Let's get 246 people watching. I can't do it without you, and it's about to get crazy up in here. So what I need y'all right now is to help me with that. So for a second, while I start bringing people on, go share this link. Go share, let people know. I love y'all. We're about to have a little bit of fun here, and I know that what we're about to do is going to get a little crazy. I just ask y'all to be respectable, but I think the fans. What did you say? Oh, hold on, D-Dub. What'd you say?
No, I didn't say it. I was just letting you know I was back.
I want to make sure y'all understand that. All right, so here we go. Let me put in share, and here we go.
Oh boy, I know I'm gonna get some fire.
I'm gonna get fired. People in the chat have been getting at me.
I don't care, because you know what? People don't want to hear the truth.
No cuss words.
People don't want to hear the truth of the situation, and they want to keep sticking their head in the ground and just watch the games. But guess what? There's a lot of people over 70 years that have put their life to it, and to have ceilings placed in front of them is wrong.
Yeah. I also want to remind people too, when you come on, try to keep, don't go on a tangent as far as like time wise. I want to let everybody give a chance. I already have this thing almost full. There's a few more slots left, and I'm sure other people want to get on. So what I want to make sure happens when you guys do that is if I need to say, hey, look, I got a lot of people trying to get in, I might try to rotate some of y'all out. So if you volunteer to do that, that's great. And if it ends up being that nobody else comes on through the cycles, you come back on and we'll finish with you. So let's. God, D-Dub, I hear all that background noise. Okay, all right, let's bring on the first person, my man Von Joe. What's up, Von Joe?
Steven, you're killing me, man.
Banging.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
Hold on 1 second. Clanging and banging, baby.
You're killing me. You're killing me. I'm trying to, but your takes are killing me. I have to stop. I have to pause.
Hey, I'm all ear because I'm deaf out of one ear. So I'm all ear to you, Von Joe.
So check me out. So you said that everybody keep getting mad at Flores for the offense, right? Yes. And I keep saying, we all know Flores is a defensive guy, right?
Yep.
And we already know, based off everything, it looked like it was a hostile work environment. And he wasn't, this is why I say that it was pretty much set up for him to fail from jump, right? So first year, we tear down the team, all right? So that's the rebuild year, right? Yeah. Tearing everything down. Second year, all right, I want this quarterback. Okay, now we're not going to give you this quarterback. We're going to give you this one with just recovering from a broken hip. All right, work with it. Okay, all right, but okay, you know what? Maybe I could get my quarterback, Fitzpatrick, still work some magic, still make it happen, right? He even got the offensive coordinator that he wants for Fitzmagic. Okay, they're making it work, right? Okay, all right, no, man, we can't work with Fitzmagic, man. Forcibly put Tua in. After all year, he's been saying Tua is not ready. Tua comes in, stinks it up, have to keep putting magic in. Have to keep sprinkling some magic in. Fitz, go put that fairy dust in there, right? So again, the offense cannot work. Come to find out, Tua didn't even know the playbook.
Okay.
Right? Again, so that's
you're stating things we agree on and we know.
I know, but again, you say that he didn't get a chance to make it happen on the offensive end. So again, that's not of his control. That's not that first. Okay, we're gonna say that's the second year. That's not part of his control. Tua didn't know the playbook. You guys, he didn't even want that quarterback. So you gave him.
But Von Joe, he had multiple opportunities to change out his quarterback. The report of him being on a yacht. the report of him, he had a chance to get Tom Brady.
Okay, so you're telling me he has to go and work outside of his integrity and his morals to fix the quarterback situation?
Okay, so let's talk. So that's it. That two things. Number one, if that is your case, and you're and by the way, so now we're talking about tampering, and we're talking about bribery. That's over $10,000, which is FBI. FBI is going to get involved now, right?
Word.
At that point, if your integrity is so good, you walk away. You blow the whistle and you walk away. I don't believe, in my opinion, that it's
I can sit there,
about integrity.
or I have these people that are my responsibility. The people, the coaches I hired, the young men that I brought in that I have to coach and develop. I still have them
the ones that he's been rotating every year.
Hold on, no. I said the young men. I didn't say the old men. Okay. I said the young men, right? That I brought in for my defense that I have to coach. I have to develop the OCs, the assistant coaches that are part of my staff that I have to be accountable for. All that has to go onto my character, my moral character, my mindset. If I walk away, what happens to them? Nobody thinks about that part. So again, okay, I don't have to sit there and fall to your moral standards. I'm going to sit there and be accountable for the men that I brought under me, still do the right thing on my end, and still handle my business as a man.
I want to get into this more, but I have the back room is full, so let me bring out some other people in here. Crypto, what's up, Crypto?
Hey, that's a good point about looking out others, because Flores did say he believed in the good of people. That's why he stick through things. Sometimes he just believe people will have a change. People will have a change of heart, so he stick through it instead of just walking out and quitting on a job that's rare and it's only 32 openings to begin with. So, but I wanted to say this, Stephen D. I was going to say this too about the timeliness. I know the Dolphins fans are all up in arms about the timeliness of this. We don't get a chance to choose. Well, not we. When you
I'm gonna go
perpetrate, when you perpetrate something against somebody, if you victimize somebody, I'm just using this term as a pejorative for in Flores' case. If he's constantly getting slandered for weeks in and weeks out, you don't get to choose on your schedule on when the victim gets a chance to retaliate. Let's say, for instance, if I was a child abuser or a spousal abuser and constantly been doing it to them for their whole life for 4 weeks or whatever long of a time, I don't get to dictate on when they retaliate against me. I just don't. I naturally give up that right on when they can retaliate against me. It's not on my schedule on when they get to retaliate because I did them wrong. They get to choose what date they want to get back at me at. Just because it's inconvenient for me, the perpetrator of the crime, I don't get to dictate when the victim retaliates against me. That's what I'm saying. That all these people get mad about when Flores did this, it was out of time, it was out of schedule. I'm sorry, you don't get a chance to dictate when the victim retaliates against you. You did this man wrong for so long, at least he feel that way. But if he decides to strike back, he strikes back on his own schedule.
That's what
the perpetrator of the crime don't dictate when the victim retaliates. That's the problem with some of these Dolphin fans. Oh, why did he do it now? Why did he wait 2 years later? Why did he do it now? Oh, he decided to do a Black History Month. So what? He could have decided to 2035 to retaliate. You know, that it doesn't matter. You don't get to decide the perpetrator
2035
when
the statute of limitation might have been, but he could have done exactly what Jose Canseco did and tell a tell-all book, and that would have, whatever it would have been. But all right, I get your point. I want to respond to these, but I want to bring on other people into the stream, and we have a back room, and people are waiting patiently. So let me bring on some other people. Next person I want to bring on is Color Commentary. What's up, Color?
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, even though our franchise seems to try to want to destroy it every day. But I wanted to say one thing, a couple points in the chat about Flores's integrity and having been from New England. Well, number one, we have absolutely no evidence whatsoever that he even knew any of that was going on. So stop it already. Secondly, they didn't fire Belichick over it. Why is that?
What are you talking about? What are you saying?
All the cheating scandals, as far as questioning
because Belichick's got Super Bowl rings to back them up.
Okay, but if it was if we're See, that's where we need to decide what we agree upon as far as why he was fired. And again, we'll go back to Stephen Ross. There's absolutely no evidence other than what came out of Stephen Ross's mouth as to why he was fired. Stephen Ross explicitly said it had nothing to do with job performance. Now, we can speculate whether he was double speaking or there was hitting meeting or whatever the real reason was. I get it. Okay. But the fact of it is, plenty of people have done more egregious things than just be an asshole, an a-hole to get fired.
Swear jar.
And then to be subsequently smeared the way he was in the media, because none of what's been said in the media as far as the slander was necessary to show why he got fired if everybody thinks it was because he was a bad coach. So I don't understand why everybody is so accepting of the dehumanization campaign that we all know we witnessed. Okay. Secondly, I just wanted to correct myself and also clarify what I meant about Don Shula's 4-season run where he was 30-33. And everybody said, well, he had already won Super Bowls and already had a track record. Yeah, well, maybe people just get tired or they start to lose their edge. And so nobody questioned 4 years straight whether we should move on from Don Shula. You know, I understand where the clout comes from, but at the same time, that's just a flippant example that I use. So I'll correct myself on that because there's plenty of other coaches. It also has to do with retention. When was the last time you had I'm sure there has been, but again, we go back to the record, we go back to the situation he was put in. And for those that want to talk about another part of his failure in character being that he sabotaged Tua, well, that comes down from the top. And if they were sabotaging him, then what's the difference? And the last thing I'll say is as far as why anybody would continue to work in that and not take the moral stand right off the bat. First of all, that's the actual power dynamics that everybody's talking about when you talk about a first-year black head coach that sees who has the integrity that he does, that believes in football the way he does, and understands that winning is the only way to solve anything. Okay. And then he ends up getting basically fired because, you know, it rubs people the wrong way that's his idea of what winning is. You know, well, on that note, we're also talking about going up and blowing the whistle on a multi-billionaire that, you know, has clout himself. So I don't think anybody in that situation would immediately jeopardize their career like we're witnessing him do right now, because the career would have been jeopardized just the same if he would have done it earlier. Okay. You know, maybe the guy just, like, as far as his personal obligation to the team, to the fans, to everybody involved, he just decided to stick through it and win. I'm not going to question what his motives were on that, but there's also the thought that when you go up against a multi-billionaire, you definitely want to be prepared. So it's not like he was prepared to do that at the moment in time. Further crypto point about nobody gets to, an abuser doesn't get to decide when the victim comes back and retaliates. And that's kind of, I'll leave you guys with that. And I'm going to go off air to hear everybody's response. I got a jet. Appreciate it, Stephen D.
All right, no problem, Color. Good to see you, buddy. D-Dub, I know you want to answer that. I'll let you respond, but I got other people in the back, and I want to bring them on too.
No, go ahead.
All right, let me bring on the next person because I'm going to let everybody come in and give their spiel on how they want to do this, and then you guys will stay on and we'll have a spirited debate, and it'll be a good one. It'll be a respectful one. Let me bring on Russell. What's up, Russell? How are you, sir?
I'm so glad you didn't leave me back there for an hour.
I saw you. I wasn't going to do that to you, my guy. I'm not a monster. I don't treat people like that. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, okay, I'm going to try to spit this out as quick as I possibly can because I have a couple of points that I want to make.
Go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
Number one, if you were a Patriot fan, would you be happy with all the experiences you have had over the last 20 years, regardless of the cheating rumors and stuff that's been put out there? If you were a Patriots fan, would you be more happy about the fact that they went to multiple Super Bowls, or would you be more upset about the cheating?
Is that a rhetorical question, or
that is a question? That is a question.
Crypto, do you want to answer?
Are you asking the panel, or are you asking the?
Yes, all of you guys. Would you be more upset about the cheating as a Patriots fan, or would you be more happy about having those 6 Super Bowl rings? And
I would say that 99.9% of all Patriot fans are glad that they have Super Bowl rings.
Okay,
Exactly.
now, thank you for answering that, because this is one of my main points. We have complained and complained and complained about Stephen Ross not doing enough to bring a winner to this organization. Well, once he finally actually tries to do stuff, regardless of how he's doing it, because I don't care who you are, every team in the NFL campers, and they get away with it all the time, and that's a proof. Obviously, we're seeing that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
So Ross was trying to do everything the right way, and I don't care if you. This is the whole thing I have with tanking. We all knew going into 2019 they were tearing it down, and we were starting over, and we were going to tank. So everybody who's complaining that that they paid for season tickets and all this other stuff, don't go. Don't get tickets. Sell your tickets. Do whatever you got to do if that's a problem with you, because I could tell you right now, if Flores would have listened to Ross and actually tanked the right freaking way, Joe Burrow would be our quarterback. And you call it speculation all you want, but I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, Brian Flores would probably still be our head coach.
Maybe we're playing in the Super Bowl this weekend.
That's my point.
Maybe
Ross had the right idea,
but maybe.
And Russell,
this is the part that I hold against Ross. If Brian Flores was not okay with doing this and he had to get to the point of bribing him, he should have never been hired from the freaking jump. And here's my other point I want to make. You don't hire a coach from a division rival, because you could call it conspiracy all you want. I said the same thing on Larry's channel, and I fully believe this, and I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's a fact. He was sent to the Miami Dolphins organization to infiltrate and destroy it from within by Bill Belichick, because that's who he learned.
Russell, I love you. I do.
Period.
But no way, shape, or form
that man,
I don't know about that one.
And not only that, but Brian.
I love you, Russell, but man,
what is Belichick destroying? Mediocrity?
I don't know. I don't know. Like we was already destroyed.
Here's the big ticket. Because I guarantee you, he found out about this yacht visit, because that yacht visit was for Tom Brady, just so everybody understands that. So we're trying to steal the Patriots franchise quarterback. We stole the Patriots defensive coordinator and the best coach off of that coaching tree. And not only that, but we were tampering with him. And the fact of the matter is,
how come Belichick didn't spill the beans then?
Okay.
He kind of did with those text messages to Brian.
Hold on, Russell.
Bill Belichick did that with
That's
those
some sci-fi. That's some stuff in the sci-fi movie.
Go ahead,
Go ahead. You fell off the cliff after the 6 Super Bowls. I just want to say that, because all that stuff after the 6 Super Bowls you stated, I don't agree with. I don't think anybody sends a coach
to a division rival
to sabotage a team. Okay, if that was the case, you wouldn't have players going from one team to another in the division. And
look what happened with Kyle Van Noy. He came here and then went right back. And guess what?
That wasn't on him.
That was on Brian Flores. That was on Flores.
And if you listen to Kyle Van Noy's interviews with Pat McAfee, which are great, by the way. Shout out to P-Mac. That is my guy. You will see that, like, Van Noy was like, I wanted to stay in Miami. I was happy to be there.
So hold on. Let's address the Van Noy situation real quick. Why are we acting like Van Noy was not hurt? And who came behind Van Noy? Was it not Van Ginkel?
Andrew Van,
and why we acting Van Ginkel did not ball after Van Noy was there? And that's why we got rid of Van Noy, because Van Ginkel was cheaper, younger, and he did the same thing.
It was cheaper to keep her, man. We still could have had Ginkel and still had Van Noy.
But we had to get rid of Van Noy to really develop Van Ginkel.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. No,
I disagree as well. And I want to make one more point to all of this. I don't care what anybody says. Brian Flores cost us Jim Harbaugh. This whole situation.
No.
We were never getting Harbaugh in the first place. I tried to tell you guys for weeks and weeks that Harbaugh's not coming.
Crypto.
I tried to tell you guys. I tried to warn you guys. Don't get your hopes up high on Jim Harbaugh. Endlessly, I've been trying to tell y'all that. Stick with the list.
Hold on, Crypto.
Stick with the list that they've been going with. They have never hired a coach over the last 20 years through backroom deals. Ever.
Crypto,
this team has never hired a coach through backroom deals. They've always given us the list, checked it twice, and went by the list every single time. And they're going to do it again.
All right, Crypto, it is my personal belief that if this report never saw the daylight, right now, today, by Thursday, we would have been introducing Jim Harbaugh as our next head coach. I 100% believe that.
Absolutely. I do not buy that one bit. There's no evidence that ever suggests that. I don't buy it.
But Crypto,
they gave us a list of all the people they interviewed.
If we would have got Harbaugh, Steven, let me ask you, whose fault is that really?
Oh, that's Stephen Ross's fault.
Thank you. 100%. So how you gonna blame Flores?
I didn't blame Flores for that.
No, Russell,
I didn't blame Flores for that.
Oh, I did.
He's the owner.
I know, but
because
Russell,
he
how you gonna blame
all
Flores
this chaos
for being unethical?
because he's being a spiteful baby with the Dolphins. I understand his points with the other teams. I'm not
so Russell,
take any of that away.
But the Dolphins defamed him, kind of like what you're doing now. And they're doing it in the media, so he has the right to strike back. Nobody gets to choose.
All right, one at a time. One at a time.
Just off what you're saying, right? Just off what you're saying. He's being a spiteful baby. That's like saying all those women out there that got sexually harassed, got raped, and didn't report it right away is being spiteful because they didn't get money. Right?
That's what I was saying earlier.
Victims don't get to choose. Perpetrators don't get to choose when the victims retaliate. Period. I'm sorry that the Dolphins fans are mad because it was untimely. So what? The rocks go with the farm. The victims of a crime don't get to choose when the perpetrators doggone retaliate. You just don't.
Russell didn't hear me. Russell didn't hear me. Russell, so based off what you're saying that he's being a crybaby, right? And whiny crybaby. That's like saying all those women.
Disgruntled ex-employee is essentially what I'm calling him.
But that's like saying, let's go off the recent situation, Watson's situation, right? All those 22 women are being crybabies then.
So Von Joe, I don't know, and I asked this question to
basically exactly.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
No, that's the same situation.
I don't know.
It's the same situation.
It's a victim.
Perpetrators of a crime trying to tell the victims when to retaliate. That's just nonsense.
No. That is a completely different situation because that is
not. Yeah, defame this man. They defamed this man in the media and throughout social webs throughout the whole month of January after he was gone, trying to make it hard for him to get a job. Then you think he was going to strike back?
I would look. I am not disagreeing with the cause that he is doing. I'm not saying that he is necessarily being treated fairly throughout the NFL in terms of his interview process. I am specifically talking about football pertaining the Miami Dolphins, and we weren't even tied in with any of the actual racial stuff. That is all tied in with the Giants and the Broncos.
Yeah, but
we are specifically
tied in with defamation.
Trying to tank and
defamation. We're tied into.
Tanking.
No, we're tied in with defamation.
All right, Russell, hold on. Russell, hold on, bud. So two things, guys. Let me finish this statement, and I have other people in the back, and I want to bring them on. What we're trying to say, Russell and Von Joe, correct me if I'm wrong in this, is that the defamation part of the lawsuit ties into that that part of the reason I was not given the Giants or the Broncos job was because the Miami Dolphins organization were defaming me through the media, through reports that I was hard to work with, that I was this person X, Y, and Z. Now, I'd like to state for the record again that I based that decision based on what I saw with my own two eyes personally. And based on decisions that were made within him and the organization. Now, who knows who had the final say of those, but I know how it looked, according to Flo, is that he had the final say.
Out of Stephen Ross's mouth, he said that the reason Flores was fired because of poor collaboration. Poor collaboration, not because of work performance, but because of poor collaboration.
Exactly. And so
Right. He stated it. And that's Stephen Watson, the liar.
May I say something, Stephen?
Hold
real
on,
quick?
hold on, Russ. Hold on, Russ.
The fact that it was poor collaboration, you can take that as, oh, he didn't do what the owner said he wanted by tanking. And that's why all of this is linked, Russell.
You can assume that, and I'm sure that there's truth in that, but you can't 100% say that that is all of the case. Like, there is more to that story, man. Like, and I think
yes, but that's what was going on back doors, Stephen.
And by the way, I said there's truth in that. I didn't say that it was wrong. I said there's truth in it. What I said, there can be two truths, right? I also believe, my personal opinion, that him not keeping guys like Ted Karras or Kyle Van Noy, or not being able to retain Caldwell, or not keeping Chan Gailey, not that I wanted Chan Gailey, but not being able to bring in a Pep Hamilton and Anthony Lynn, some sort of offensive mastermind.
Chan Gailey retired.
Whatever. You can say whatever you want.
Chan
I'm just saying.
Didn't want to coach Tua either.
Yeah, well, that again, I don't care. All I know is he had 4 offensive coordinators in 3 years.
Yeah,
that's on him. That ain't on nobody else.
I really need
him.
I really need to make a point.
Yeah, but did Stephen Ross didn't say because you got rid of 4 offensive coordinators, I'm getting rid of you?
But he said
that's not what that's not what collaboration means.
D-Dub, again, repeat to me exactly what Ross said.
He said, quote, poor collaboration.
Okay, my point has been stated. All right, before I let anybody else go, let me let some of these other people in the back room get on. Drubbatron, what's up, Drub?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How's it going?
What's going on, man?
Hey, remember when we used to just fight about whether or not Tua was good or bad?
I miss those days. Oh, I miss those days. How I miss them.
This is all part of football.
Tua's going to demand a trade. He don't want to be a part of this nonsense, and I don't blame him.
Trade to who? Trade to what?
Anybody in the NFL, he'll be willing to go to at this point.
Send me to Detroit or Cleveland, please.
For real. So there's a lot of back and forth, and I think a lot of it stems from, and it was something that I came across on Twitter, and it's why that this is going to be a really difficult conversation for the next media cycle, however long this takes to get through everything. And it's unfortunately they chose the right message, right? With this lawsuit, this is something that has needed to happen for years. The Rooney Rule doesn't work. It's clear that we need other changes. We need minority owners. We need a different change. The Rooney Rule never worked.
And I agree with all of that.
The message is not the problem, unfortunately, and this is going to be a problem, and you're going to hear it. We heard it with the Kaepernick situation. It's the messenger. Unfortunately, with Brian Flores, okay, there's already the smear campaign is coming out, and a lot of the things that are coming out now are not. We don't necessarily know that they're lies. Well, and some of the things are definitely fact-based. One of those things is that, we're talking about Brian Flores as, he's somebody that's wanting to make change, that he just wanted to see change. But unfortunately, and I agree that you can't tell a victim when to come out. But unfortunately, that was the case, right? That he did wait until, and it's going to be a knock, whether you agree or disagree. I disagree. I don't think it should be a knock, but it's going to be used against him. Another thing that's going to be used against Brian Flores is the fact that you look at his coaching staff over the last 3 years, and while it has changed a lot, one of the big consistent things, look at the demographics of his coaching staff. He says that he knows lots of minority coaches in the league that are worthy of having a coaching job. The majority of his coaching staff was white. This is a problem that permeates the NFL everywhere, and it has nothing to do with.
Hey, Drup, can I pause you for 1 second? Yeah. Let Bonjo go.
He was talking about he wasn't talking about black staffs. He talking about black head coaching job and people in upper management. He wasn't talking about that. That's not what he was talking about.
It starts from the bottom.
Hold on, Russell. Go ahead, Bonjo.
All right, check that off. What Crypto say, but. Dub, so if he would have hired an all-black coaching staff, people would have still had a problem with it. So he would have hired all. Now he has mainly white coaching staff. People still have a problem with it because of this. When reality, maybe the people that came to interview with him, he did the moral thing and just hired the best person for the job in the situation that he was trying to hire for. So,
but I don't disagree with you. But, okay, go ahead.
Okay, but hold on. So because somebody acted morally right and did the right thing and didn't stoop as low as other people, he's wrong, or he should be criticized for that?
Well, I'll let Drub answer. Go ahead, Drub.
Yeah. Okay, and this is why is it that Flores is acting morally by hiring the best candidate, theoretically, but when other people make those decisions, it's not they're not making the moral decision. In my opinion,
the thing is, a decision was made. Hold on, a decision was made before he was even given a chance to interview.
Well, it was a sham. It was a sham interview in Denver, and it was a sham interview in New York.
But we can't make excuses for Flores and not be okay to make excuses for others. And I'm not making excuses for others. What I'm saying, I would be 1 billion, trillion, quadrillion % okay if Flores said, hey, I'm going to go out of my way to give minority coaches chances to coach. Because the number one way to get more minority head coaches in the league is to have more minority offensive coordinators, more minority defensive coordinators, and the like. You can't it's very difficult to go from a nobody unless you're the Texans and you just want a white dude that was a quarterback to be your coach. That's a different subject. You can't just go from being a nobody to be a head coach. You have to start from the bottom. Why? And I would have been, like I said, okay if Flores.
Well, you just put your finger on it. Why does Josh McCown get the interviews that now?
I want to be
it's wrong. It's terrible, and I think that's why the Texans haven't hired him because they know it's wrong.
I want to debunk something.
Maybe they would have already hired him if Flo wouldn't have came out with this. That's why they giving it pause. Maybe there's a reason why they didn't hire him because Flo came out with this.
One statement, right? When all this is going on, for example, I cannot fault a black man that, for example, because they're saying, oh, the Kenny Stills thing, oh, the way he treats. I cannot fault a black man that never experienced racism because I've experienced a situation, right? And I could never fault him for not seeing it my way because he never experienced that. He could have grew up in a bubble. But once he experienced that and goes through it, and if he still turns a blind eye to it, now I could fault you. Now I could sit there and say, no, you acting wrong. But if once he experiences it, right, and he enters my world and he acts on it, I could say, welcome to my world, sir.
All right,
now you're doing the right thing. If he was in a bubble and he never experienced it, how could I fault him?
Stephen, can I say something real quick, please?
Yeah, go ahead. But I want to bring other people on. So go ahead.
It'll be quick. It'll be quick. So to address comments in chat and to address the situation, you're right. I'm white. I don't know what it feels like. I haven't experienced any of that, but I'll tell you this. I understand what he's going through. My problem with Flo isn't what he's going for after the Giants and after Denver. My issue are the things that he specifically pointed out and put out there on Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins for tampering and for bribery, so to speak. Those are my issues because with those two things, to me, he's just a snitch instead of working with the team to get better. That's my issue with Brian Flores.
Stop calling that man a snitch. Stop calling him a snitch because he's not a criminal.
He's not
a criminal.
That's a pretty loaded term.
Nah, don't call him to snitch. No, snitches, you call people snitches that are doing crime and part of the crime and turn around and snitch on the people that they were doing the crime with.
You're wrong,
he's not
Russell,
a
on
snitch.
that one, bro.
Well, my point is I understand the optics. I get I understand what this all stands for and what he's trying to accomplish with it, and I support him for it. We do need more minority owners. We need more minority GMs. We need more minority coaches.
So what you want?
I agree with all of that. So my issue is what he said about Miami in particular.
So
it goes hand in hand.
But we aren't part of the racial discrimination. We are literally being attacked for cheating.
No, what?
And
So two
But
things.
Russell,
Number one.
I didn't want to go. I just want to apologize for getting a little animated. But I'm just so sick and tired of people using that terminology "snitch" for people that are not in a life of crime. Right?
Right, it's nothing associated with crime.
Exactly. If you're a wholesome citizen, you telling on a wrong situation, you're not a snitch. You're just a law-abiding citizen.
It's called whistleblower. That's the terminology for it.
Okay, that's fine. Whistleblower's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's essentially what my issue is, though. Has nothing to do with any of the other stuff. It is specifically what he has attacked the Miami Dolphins on.
So Russell, so I feel bad because there are people in the back. So let me, because I have a lot to say, and we can keep this conversation.
Go
going,
ahead, bring them in.
Let me
Stephen D, you just a Tua hater. Stop your hating on Tua, Stephen. Stop the nonsense.
Let me bring in Trey. Trey, what's up, man?
What's up, Trey, man? They was going at you in the chat room. I had to come at them for you, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, they was really coming at my head,
John,
but I
see,
understand.
you know what I was
some
getting ready
things
to do.
people just don't understand. But,
Yeah.
Well, hey,
man,
Trey, I said good morning to you. Good morning, Trey.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Steve.
I'm just
bad,
messing,
bro.
buddy. You're good, bro. Hey, the floor is yours, man. The floor is yours.
Look, man, I don't see how people can be mad at Flores and what he's doing, as far as what he's doing towards our organization, as far as what he's doing towards the NFL. Because like Crypto said when he first got up here, when you're a victim of a situation, there's no time limit on when you feel like you need to get that person back or whatever the situation may be. So by Flores going about it this way, do I feel like it was the correct way to go about it? No, because he may never have a job again, but he felt like it was strong enough for him to take a stance for what he believed in. So you can't be mad at that guy for taking a stance and standing up for what he believes in. But everybody's trying to attack this man because of what he's doing, because of he's throwing the Dolphins under the bus. But the Dolphins threw him under the bus first. So it's like, how can we be mad at this guy for him doing what he's doing?
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with what you just said.
I do have a question.
How can you
Wouldn't
be mad?
bribery be considered a crime?
Yeah,
It's not a bribe. It was I forget the correct term for it, but it's
Robbery is a crime.
Yeah, in and of itself, yes, Russell.
Something again.
I mean, it was just an honest question.
Yeah, in and of itself, yes, it is.
Yes, and if you accept money to affect the outcome of games, and I think it's over $10,000, it's
over 10.
It's a federal crime.
I would have taken that 100,000 a game and been happy, and then went and got Joe Burrow.
And by the way, Russell, to your thing, I think a lot of
you
people
can sleep with that. That's you.
Look, right, good, bad, or indifferent, Bonjo.
I'm about
I think there's a lot. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people would agree. I'm not saying I would, but I think there is part of the fan base that says, "Bro, take the 100,000, lose, get your boy, and you're set for the next 10 years, and you can really make a run at this thing."
Or Greer could have made sure that Josh Rosen was the main starter and not get Fitzpatrick and take the chance on him winning games.
You're 100% right.
Just loaded this roster with a bunch of Walmart employees.
Okay, but wait a minute, Steven. You just made a point. For the next 10 years. But guess what? When that coach has that 1-16 or 0-16 season, he's not the coach who's going to benefit from that 0-16 team, who's going to benefit from that first round draft pick.
That's possible too, like the Tony Dungy situation. Yeah, that's true.
That's
fact. Now,
what
I will say to this is that's actually a really good point, D-Dub, because if you look at it, most head coaches don't get to go through with seeing a player's full potential through. In fact, there's very few that can say that they've done it. Don Shula being one of them with Marino.
Hey, Steve, can I make a quick point on that?
Go ahead, Trey.
Let's look at the NBA and what Mark Jackson did. Mark Jackson built the greatest backcourt the NBA has ever seen, and he didn't get to reap none of the benefits. And you know why they put him out? Because he couldn't get along with the players, as they say. He brought religion into the game, and they
Again, that
didn't like
angry
none of
black
that
man,
because of
that
the way
angry
he
black
was.
man syndrome.
But you can say that with Tony Dungy
It's
and
the
Gruden.
same situation.
Yeah, same thing with
You don't
Dungy
even
and
have to go.
Gruden.
You don't have to go to the NBA. The NFL. Tony Dungy built that Buccaneers team from trash with them ugly uniforms, and he built them to what it was. They got rid of them.
Tell me how you really feel, Vonjo.
We knew that, and all of a sudden,
Them
they're a
ugly
Super Bowl team,
uniforms.
and
I know.
You
Tell me
can't
how you
talk about
really
the
feel, Vonjo.
uniform.
He
Come on,
said
man.
with them ugly
Vonjo.
uniforms.
We all know that orange was
Bring back the
ugly.
creamsicle. They needed to bring back the creamsicle.
Dude,
They
the
played like
creamsicle jerseys
creamsicles
were
too.
fire. Those
I
are
love the
fire.
creamsicle jerseys.
All right. Let me bring in somebody else in the back room here. Cap for life. What's up, Cap for life?
Hey, good morning, man. It's just
What's
it's
up,
very
Cap?
spicy, very very spicy day. It's yeah, man. I'm
It's
just
been a
with the
spicy couple days.
yeah, man.
Spicy.
It's weird, man, because I mean, you have to understand too, man. Coming from the inner city, man, you can't really be a snitch if you're not part of the game plan. You know what I mean? If anything, you're being used as a pawn at that point. So you got to consider whether you're going to use yourself as a pawn or just, try to, put, like he says, put your best foot forward, knowing that if it is true what happened on that yacht happened, that was not even a year into the 2019. So if we're saying we really didn't give Tua a chance, hell, this guy never even really got a chance at all, because he says after that incident happened, his work environment changed completely. And I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
Thank you.
Facts,
Thank you.
Cap.
This is what I've been saying, Cap.
Was that 2019 or
Sabotage from
2020?
It's just
And
sabotage
that
from year
part
one.
of it, Cap, that part of it falls
It's
on
difficult,
Ross,
man.
because that's when Ross should have either moved off of him and hired another coach or never hired him from the get-go. That's
Listen,
my issue
you're not
with
gonna only
Ross.
keep saying Ross. Y'all gotta
Or
throw Greer into this.
Russell.
told Greer
Hey,
to get a
Russell,
whole bunch of bag
this
of bad groceries. That's what he should have just did and put him on the
this
field.
whole situation falls back on Ross. No matter how you try to slice it, bro. He's
Yeah,
the
it
owner
eventually
that tried
falls
to
on
put
Ross.
foul play in
And
action,
Greer.
man. It falls on him.
I think it falls on both, but that's
I
just
think
me.
Greer plays a little
But
responsibility
Okay,
because he should have
I'll
put some bad
also,
players out there.
you know what? And I won't disagree with that either. But see, I'll be honest. I'm a little biased because I never liked the hire from the jump. I didn't like bringing in a division rival coach. I didn't really care for Brian Flores, and I didn't like the way he treated Tua. I didn't like the way he treated any of the players for real. So
All right, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell
be
you, Russell, the
biased
same
off
thing I've been
rip.
telling Crypto.
That's fine,
You gotta get off.
Russell.
You got to get
But
off that square,
but
man.
Kenny Stills forgave him. He said it wasn't had nothing to do with the whole situation. Kenny Stills said it this morning.
You gotta get
Well,
off.
that's
and
good.
another
I'm glad
thing,
he forgave him.
I
Yeah,
am
he
you're
curious,
forgave
talking
though,
him.
about how
and
he
I want to
treated
bring up
certain.
this point
You're
if I
talking about.
can.
All right. Go ahead, Drup. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Drupatron.
I'm curious because, again, a lot of the things we hear regurgitated a lot is, why did Flores stick around? Why didn't he speak up earlier? Why didn't this or that? Something that I said shortly after he was fired is and I brought it up here on one of our talks, is it felt like he was sabotaging parts of the team. And I want to bring this up in a different context with what we are now hearing. Do we think that potentially Flores could have maybe been doing some things on the back end to maybe get fired? Because maybe not get fired, but to kind of make it so that
self sabotage. You think there's
maybe in
some
a way
self
on
sabotage?
purpose so that he could get out? Because again, and I'm going to bring this up because everybody seems to forget this. How many times have you worked at a job where somebody treated you like doo-doo? I don't want to get swear jar here. Somebody treated you like doo-doo, and you stuck around. You didn't do nothing because you got a family to feed. You got people to take care of. I think like D-Dub said too, you got people that are counting on you for their jobs, right? To keep you employed, right? You can't just come out and speak up and lose your job, especially as a minority coach. It's hard enough to get a job. You can't just go out there and blow up. It's again, career
Great
suicide.
point. Great point.
At the very least, if he could get let go by the Dolphins, right, by maybe souring some grapes within the organization, he would have another chance to coach again and to maybe make things right. My point being that this goes, I think, much deeper than we all understand. And I said it when he was fired that there's stuff that this is just the icing on the cake. We don't know the ins and outs of this. And I really hope, unfortunately, I don't think it'll happen, but I really hope it does go to trial and we start to get some of the evidence, because I think it's going to start showing a lot more damaging to Ross than it is for Flores as it moves forward. And I hope it ends up.
That's why he needs to
Drugs.
That's a good point, Drew. Good one, Drew.
So the way I
to
debunk
go to
that.
trial. They don't want it to get past discovery, because then that opens up the books. The NFL doesn't want it because there's too many skeletons in the closet that would come out.
They're gonna do a Donald Sterling to him.
He's gonna take a
Donald Sterling. Yeah, he can be ran out. Yeah.
Brian Flores is about to get a really nice payday.
There's a reason that Colin Kaepernick got.
That's true too, Russell. He might end up getting paid as well, unless he don't want to get paid.
I could see this man making more money than he just from this lawsuit. I could see him making way more than he would ever as a head coach in the NFL. Because you got to understand, he's going after the NFL themselves. He's probably looking at $250 million.
There's Drub's back.
Okay, Drub.
That's the minimum. That's probably a minimum, Russell, too.
The reason why I say I want to debunk Drub's thing is because when it comes to salary grapes were already getting smashed and thrown to the side when he decided not to tank, when he decided not to take that meeting, and he decided to go against what Ross wanted to do. At that point, it's already friction there.
Yeah, no, what I meant is like further souring the grapes, maybe just making.
No, I mean, hey, the
making a
grapes were already
situation where
soured.
they had to let him go, right?
The grapes were already soured when you let Harbaugh leave to Michigan. The grapes were already soured.
But
this is not
when it comes
good.
to his relationship with Ross, when he decided to say, "Nah, we ain't meeting with Brady, I'm out," at that point, the milk's gone bad already.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
No, what my point was, again, for the last year, we performed well, right? He did his job. Nobody will say that I mean, maybe offensively you could say that Flores didn't do such a great job, but I mean that we ended up with a winning record. So at the end of the day, Flores still looked good as a coach, but there was things in the back. And what I mean when I mean by souring grapes was, we heard that he stopped talking to coaches at the after Thanksgiving, I think it was. Like there was a lot of other bad things kind of that were happening inside, and that's where I was talking about maybe trying him saying, "I need to get out of here."
About Stephen Ross though. Stephen Ross has been messing up even before Flores was here.
I would like
Ross
to
has been messing up way before Flores was here.
Yeah. No, my theory was that he was trying to make things potentially bad on purpose, not maliciously, but to try to get him out of there without looking as bad as possible. And to be honest, when Flores was initially fired, he didn't look bad. Who looked bad? The Dolphins looked bad. And as soon as they started looking bad in the media, that's when the smear campaign happened. I think if Flores, I don't know what would have changed it, but I think Flores was in some way trying to get out without looking like a bad guy. And they
highlight a comment from Cliff D, please.
Hold on. No, I don't like to do that. Give me 1 second. Let me bring it.
Yeah.
Hold on, Russ. Let me bring in Christolakis. What's up, Christolakis?
What's up,
John?
What's up, John?
What's going on,
Christolakis, take yourself off mute, Christolakis. You're on mute.
What up, John?
Real quick, Cliff D, if Ross should be in jail for trying to fix games, every owner in the NFL should be in jail. It doesn't work like.
Can you imagine?
Only if you get caught, Russell. I guess you got to get caught first.
In those press boxes, man. Can you imagine?
Christolakis, what's up, Christolakis? Hello. You're killing me, Smalls.
I just feel like Stephen Ross tried pulling his best impression of Robert Kraft, and it just blew back in his face.
It blew back. It blew up on him.
Let me bring in Green Rat. What's up, Green Rat?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I think it more comes back to a lot of people are getting pissed off about how everybody's judging Flo's integrity and stuff like that. And I personally think that he's still up for a job in at a couple different teams. And in an interview at ESPN, they asked him that question, and it kind of sounded like to me that a lot of this would go away if he got hired. But I mean, I think it was ESPN, so I'd rather have people listen to it than take
I've seen
exactly
that one.
what I'm saying. doing this, they're trying to make him look like some great integrity. But to me, if he would have, after he was asked about to take the $100,000, if he would have quit then, I think there'd be more people on his side.
Yep.
And I would almost guaranteed he would be another head coach again.
I disagree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I feel like Von Joe's looking for the people that go ahead.
I don't think so.
No, because the thing is, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that narrative. Let me pause you there for a second. If he would have came out at 100 for that, okay, blow up the spot. My owner called, I got the proof, whatever, right?
He would never get it.
Earlier.
Right, they would have just blackballed him sooner.
Even if he didn't get blackballed, not blackballed.
Can I ask you guys a question about this?
Hold on, Russ. Hold on.
Russ, hold on.
Let me just address this one thing. It's because, again, he have that whole entire coaching assistant staff under him that he has to think about their family, their jobs, and their well-being as well. So me swallowing this pill of what Ross did and still operating with integrity is protecting everybody else that's under me. Because people keep forgetting when a head coach is fired and a new head coach can't come in, how many times is the whole assistant staff kept?
Well, they're kept the whole year.
They're very rare.
They're kept the whole year.
No,
very
and if
rare.
they come out and they play the team does really good, then everyone's gonna.
There's no assurance that the team is doing.
I completely disagree.
New head coaches, it's historical. New head coaches usually bring in their own staff. What are we talking about?
But we haven't there's still not a new head coach to the end of the year. And maybe the guy that gets the promotion is the one that stays. So then there is no change.
That never
the interim head coach is very tough to get the job the following year.
Don't do that.
Not only that,
the Raiders didn't hire their interim coach. They went with a brand new coach. Josh McDaniels is clean out.
Here's
That's
another.
because they didn't want him.
Why?
That's their choice.
Let's play. If we're gonna play this game,
most choices in the NFL.
If he had actually said something about it then and there, you really don't think Bill Belichick? Now, mind you, it's not a head coaching job, but he would have been employed in the NFL, which is better than what he is right now. I think Bill Belichick would have had his arms wide open for him if he would have talked to Bill about.
Okay, would Bill bring the whole entire assistant coaching staff from Miami with him?
He's not. Do you really think he cares that much? You know what? The whole entire staff is still in place.
Hold on. Maybe you don't think that he cared that much. Who am I to say different? Who are you to say different? That man don't care about his
assistants? To me, during his tenure here, he did not show me that he cared enough about anybody else other than himself.
Hold on, baby girl. We're about to go to the park, okay?
I'd like to finish some of this myself, personally.
I don't see any evidence
of
that.
Part two.
Like, exactly. How?
Hold on real quick. Hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second, guys. Give me a second.
Steven, I'm gonna let you bring somebody else in. I gotta run. I gotta get these little babies to the park before I go to work. I'm still gonna be listening in though.
All right, Von Joe, be good, brother.
Take care.
All right, go ahead, D-Dub, and I'm going to bring on Krista Lacus while you're talking.
The same thing that the Dolphins did. You're scandalizing his name without any facts. And you know, when a coach leaves or gets fired, those offensive and defensive coaches, that if not during the season, that next season or that during the off season, they're all let go most of the time. They have to uproot their families, maybe not get a position for a while. So it's a big deal to keep a job because you're keeping people employed. And if he would have came out in your scenario, if he would have came out right at the point where Ross allegedly offered him the bribe, all right, he loses his job, he's ostracized forever. He's not going to get another job.
Why? He would be a man of huge character and integrity. And by the way,
that's
are
only
we
in
not trying
theory.
to keep?
That's only in theory.
Are
That's
we
only in
not
theory that
trying to keep
Steve would
all
be
of
that
our
way.
defensive?
They would just ostracize him sooner. That's the only difference.
Am
They would have plastered him
That's
sooner.
the point that I want to prove.
Go ahead, hey,
about
hold on, Russ.
I've got 30 seconds in on when I've listened to you guys for fucking an hour.
Hey, swear
Swear
John,
jar.
Green Rat. Green
I hear
Rat,
ya.
go.
I'll
Let
get
Green
there.
Rat go. Go ahead, Green Rat.
So I completely disagree. I mean, the offensive coaches stunk. So I'd be glad that they're
It's
out of here.
offense, defense,
But
and
the
special
defense,
teams.
Hold on,
can you
Crypto.
let me finish, Crypto? Crying out
Give him
loud.
credit for something he did do.
Let him go, Crypto.
I'm going to get there, okay? Give me a second, Crypto. So,
the same
this is
defamation that he's
unacceptable.
suing.
Go ahead, Crypto. Go ahead, Green Rat.
All right, so
good for the
turning on
Dolphins. They
that
should have
point-
deserved.
Loud noises.
No, the Dolphins deserve what.
Christ.
I'm just gonna mute him until you go, Green Rat. Go ahead.
All right. So what the next part of what I was going to try to say is that truly after that bribery happened, if you watch the games the rest of the year, when we were winning, Steve Ross was up there jumping around, high-fiving, and was happy. So I don't think he really took. I mean, they show it in the press box. So I mean, then he gets to season 2. All right, the Tom Brady thing is happening. Probably rubs Ross a little bit the wrong way. They go ahead, they play the rest of the season out. We go 10-6. I mean, then we get to the third season and he starts losing. So now, after losing a little bit, well, hold on. Is that at the start of the season, the first half of it?
It's the complete season.
We start losing half the season, right? Now now Ross is getting angry. The 2 previous things that he's wanted, to try to tank, and that he wouldn't do the Brady thing, Ross is kind of irritated with them, and we lose 7 straight games. Then Flores does a great job coaching, and they come out and they win 7 of their last.
So Green Rat, Green Rat, let me interrupt for a second. I'm going to interrupt you. Give me a second.
All right.
So you can make the argument both ways, right? You can make the argument to say, hey, look, this guy, when he was able to have the staff that he wanted or was able to get in some sort of rhythm, he was proven to be. There are a few things. Number one, he had a short start, right? Like he had a short start. He was not able to start the season out great in any of the 3 years that he was here. And I'm not going to count the first year because the first year for him doesn't count. I'm not going to hold
agree.
the
His first year was he did an awesome job.
Yep.
Second year was awesome.
Well, with that being said, you can also.
I liked him.
I'm not done. All right. Number 2, the other thing that you also have to put into account too is it's a moral and integrity thing, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, whatever you want to call it. You also have to say that, hey, look, I didn't do those things because I didn't find it morally great, or I didn't. I chose to choose my integrity over that. Now, Ross has the same merit of, hey, look, you knew where you were kind of going to go. You kind of had this in your mind when you brought Flores as the head coach. 2 things should have happened. If you chose to go the route that you were trying to go, be smart enough to make sure that your head coach is on the same page with you, because he wasn't. And I blame that on Flores. Now, if you choose to bring on Flores, you also have to understand you probably brought him here because of what type of person he is and what he can do. So you have to understand when he chooses not to go on the yacht with Tom Brady, when he chooses not to, do the $100,000 per loss and win in that season, it's the type of man that he is. So don't be surprised when he acts that way. That's who he is. You get what you get. So it's on both those people, right? Like, you got to understand where Ross is as a person, but Ross as the owner chose to bring in Flores. He could have nixed the idea and been like, nah, I need somebody that's going to come in here and play ball with what I'm trying to do.
On that. I'm right there with you on that, Stephen. But the point that
Right,
I
we
want to
move
make
on in.
about this whole coaching staff and him getting fired and all this stuff, he went through 3 offensive coaching staffs while he was here. So nobody's job was really safe while he was coach. Number one.
On that
Number
side of the
two,
ball.
Number two, I'm not done. Number two, he also treated Tua like garbage. I don't care what
You
anybody
don't
says.
know that,
I'm
bro.
not done.
say something real quick?
Please let me finish. Please let me finish, and then anybody
What are
can
your
say whatever they
sources on
want.
that, though, Russ?
But
Like,
his
where are your
kids
sources
were
at,
wearing
man?
Tua jerseys.
Oh
Nobody
my
conveniently
God.
forget that.
How
Flores'
about the
kids
fact
was wearing
that?
Tua jerseys.
Will you please mute Crypto so I can finish?
I'm not.
I'm just putting it out there.
He's
That his kids was wearing the
I
man's
know, but I'm
jersey.
tired of being interrupted when I'm trying to get my point across. You don't even let me finish so I can get it all out. Then you can say whatever the hell you want.
Russell, you got. Go ahead. You got a minute. Go ahead, bro.
The point that, and I know he treated Tua like garbage because I will stand up here and say without a doubt, okay? And I'm not going to tell you who my source is because it's not for me to say. I know for a fact, without a doubt, that Flores
Pete's gas station attendant.
particularly went after Tua for PED drug testing multiple times in training camp because he could not get over the fact that Tua actually turned his body around. I know this happened.
Oh, okay.
I know
Russell.
Hold on, hey Steven.
I'm
Hey,
gonna interrupt.
Steven, can I say something
but
right
guess
quick?
what?
Do you know that
Everybody on the team got drug tested.
Let Trey go,
After-
then
after,
Crypto. Trey, then Crypto.
After Odell Beckham got to Los Angeles and he had those string of games where he was going off, do you know that he was tested as well? Do you know that Myles Garrett was tested once he didn't wear sleeves in the game and they saw how big his arms was? You know,
That's fine to be tested, but to be tested 5 times in training camp on purpose when no one else is being tested at that time?
What's the evidence that no one else was being tested? Everybody got the medical records of all the Dolphins who've been tested?
Right.
That's what I want to see.
No, I don't care. Y'all are.
Anybody got the medical records of all the people that have been tested?
Cares?
I'd like to go third, Steven.
I like to
I
go
want to let
first.
Christolakis go. Christolakis hasn't even gone first yet. So let Christolakis. The floor is yours. Please,
All right.
Please take over.
So anyone who knows me, and I know Crypto, you were there with me yesterday on Larry's channel. Listen, this is in my wheelhouse. I'm going to become an attorney. I know everything about this case so far. In fact, the attorneys for Flores are literally down the block from me. So on top of that, I just want to say that you cannot, as a right, say that Flores cannot go to court and dehumanize Flores like this. Everyone has a right to sue somebody else. If I want to sue Steven for being a flip-flopper, that is my right to sue Steven.
There you go.
I ain't got no money though. Don't nobody donate. I ain't got no money.
Nobody's saying that.
If Steven wants to countersue me, the court can issue sanctions against me for bringing a frivolous claim. Do you honestly think Flores attorneys are going to risk their licenses?
They're not.
If they had no evidence.
He's got evidence
to go against the NFL.
So stop. And it's not just people in the chat. There's other people on other YouTube channels. I'm not going to name them, who are dehumanizing this man for his right to bring a case in front of a judge. It's his right, guys, and the evidence will come out through discovery. That's how it works. I know we're very impatient and we want this to happen right away, but it's not. There's subpoenas, there's depositions, there's going to be a response to discovery demands, a bill of particulars. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. And
I don't have a problem. Like, I know he's got this right. I don't have a problem with
Russell,
anything
you're looking
saying.
at this as a Miami Dolphins fan. You can't do that by saying that, oh, Ross was doing everything in his power to make it better.
My football team will come before any coach and any player.
Still wrong, and there is an illegal aspect to what Ross was doing. It's great for Miami Dolphins fans. It's wrong in the system. You cannot do that. And it's Flores'
Nobody's
right
saying
to bring
that
his case.
he should do what he's doing.
I think people are. I think people are. Crypto, go ahead. Crypto, floor is yours.
No, I agree 100% with Christolakis was saying. You know, as far as the legal aspect, you have a right to sue someone, and you have a right to retaliate in whatever amount of time you want to do it at. You don't do it on the perpetrator schedule. You do it on your own schedule when you're going to retaliate. That's number one. So this whole getting in a hissy fit about it's just untimely because we as Dolphin fans, it doesn't suit our schedule. Well, last time I checked, the world doesn't revolve around the Miami Dolphins.
And what about the
Hey,
timeliness?
Cat, it
Wait,
ain't
wait,
real.
hold on, Russell. Hold on, Russell. Hold on, Russell.
I'm just
What about
addressing.
hold on, Russell? Hold on. What about the timeliness for all the coaches that were negatively impacted, okay, throughout the last 40, 50 years? Is it time for them? Is it time for Flores and Gully? Is it the right time for them? Come on, man. Y'all got to think of this without the blinders, without you got to think a little bit more scope as how it impacts the the scenery.
D-Dub, come back to your
The tunnel
computer.
vision.
You're breaking up a little bit, D-Dub. Come back to
Not
your
just
computer.
the tunnel vision, not just the tunnel vision of how it impacts just the Dolphins. You got to think a little more wider than that and think how it's going to benefit all teams in the long run, because then you're going to get quality people or access to quality people that you wouldn't because of a system that is doing things to them.
All right, so let me put some things in perspective here. Number one, Russell is coming at this from a fan's perspective, which by the way, let's get something straight. Fans are pissed. I get that. I understand that. And that plays
I'm a fan
point.
too.
Yep. And
we all are. Yep, we all are fans.
And by the way, I'm not discounting anybody here. Let me finish my point. He's coming at it from a purely, strictly fan perspective. And I think there's anger in that right now, right? So I think that
I'm super pissed.
I got you, Russ. I think that if people, and I don't want to throw Russ out there, but if most fans take time to breathe in this situation, they will be able to look at it from a more unique perspective of, oh man, this is bigger than just the Dolphins. Oh man, this is bigger than just football. Oh man, this is bigger than just, taking money for losses and racial discrimination and this is a huge, big snowball. And when you look at it from that perspective, you have to take everything out of that and understand, hey, there are different layers to this. And we have to look at each layer in its own unique perspective. So, Christolakis, let me bring you back in for a second. When you are looking, are you a lawyer, by the way, Christolakis?
I'm technically, I'm taking the bar exam at the end of this month.
Okay.
To become an attorney.
Okay.
But technically, I'm a lawyer, but not a licensed lawyer, if that makes sense.
And you're a diehard Miami Dolphins fan.
Since I was a little kid. Yep.
Okay. So you are you have a unique perspective, and I would even say advantage, to look at this from the standpoint of what it is, and that is 15 to 20 different things on its own merit, right? You can't
exactly. There's so many scenarios that could play it. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
So now, from a fan perspective, it sucks that Flores is choosing to do this. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't, because it puts our franchise in probably, I think it sets it back 5 years, maybe more.
I'm thinking a decade at this point. Especially if this gets dragged out, it's going to be a decade of hell.
I got you, Russell. I think it sets us back at least 5
decade.
years. So at minimum, I said minimum of 5. You're probably it very well could be a decade. Now, with that also being said, I'm very glad that somebody decided to step up, because of a person who is in an interracial marriage, who has biracial children, who is a big advocate for civil rights and racial equality. I believe that this will do wonders not only for the NFL, but for all of professional sports. But in order to make waves, what has to happen? You have waves cause tsunamis, and tsunamis cause destruction, which usually means something has to be torn down or crash to the ground. And that's what's going to happen here. And unfortunately, our franchise is going to be part of that. So you have to understand all this here. There's a bigger picture, as well as being a fan.
And it has to play out.
And it
has. Well,
Yep.
Well,
We're collateral. We're collateral in this situation.
Let's just look at the bright side of this situation here. We're all part of history right now. That's one positive.
I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to be the laughing stock of the league. I feel like the Dolphins, I'll be honest with you. Cleveland Brown, maybe not Cleveland, but Detroit Lion fans, okay, maybe not Detroit either. All right, so two fan bases I would rather not be are Cleveland and Detroit. But aside from, I mean, like, look, man, they've at least been to the AFC Championship game in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
They have been to the championship.
You have to understand that, you know, it sucks, and this whole situation sucks, and we're all pissed off, and we're all, you know, understanding. But what I want to do is be like, okay,
good. There's a greater
good
to all.
But it's tough to see that. It's tough to see that from a fan perspective. As a human being, I see exactly what it is, and I'm all for it.
I'm a fan, and I still see the greater good. So, you know, like I said, I've been a fan of the Dolphins since 1971. Okay, but if some good comes out of all of this, so be it. So be it.
And that's not to interrupt you, D-Dub, but that's the thing
good.
is that I understand that fans want this resolved ASAP. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I have clients waiting for trials from 2019. The court system is backed up with COVID right now. There is no way that this is going to be on a fast-paced resolution unless it gets settled tomorrow, which is in the NFL's best interest to make this go away. However, with the whole allegation about $100,000 being paid to owners, $50,000 being paid to owners, Adam Gase not being paid anything to lose games, apparently, when an idiot he was. But the whole thing is that it's going to take a very long time for this to resolve. Like I said to you before, depositions have to happen. They're probably going to subpoena Bill Belichick to have a deposition. That's not going to happen in a month, in a year. This is years. But like D-Dub said, there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel for this, is that there's going to be real change for the organization. And that's what needs to happen at the end of the day. Because I don't think anybody with that was sleeping under a microwave can say, oh, there was no racism in this.
If you're sleeping under a microwave,
That's a pretty small space.
My point is that there is a bright light to this, and D-Dub nailed it. There's going to be change as a result of this.
So Von Joe, I saw you get back on. Von Joe doing his daddy duties, taking his kids.
Yeah, man, I'm
to
at the park right now.
You want to jump in? You want to jump in on this for a second?
Yeah, based on the what they just said, a beautiful side to this, right? Because earlier we were talking about, you know, what could come out of this is more minority owners, right? And just a couple shows ago, you and TD were talking about how this could, if the NFL could go international, right? And how more profitable it would be. Now, I'm not saying moving the team. Don't hit the panic button. But what I'm saying is we keep focusing on billionaires, minority billionaires. They're saying there's only 7 minority billionaires in the U.S., but there are other minority billionaires outside the U.S. border that could come in and purchase a NFL team, and that could bring an international market. That could bring an international fan base. When you have, because the thing is, when you think about it, the MLS, they have international billionaires purchasing their teams. You have the EPL, which is the English Premiership League, that have U.S. billionaires, millionaires going over there. LeBron James owned part of Liverpool FC. So that brings in that part of the market into Liverpool. So imagine an international billionaire that is a minority that comes over and says, yes, I would like to purchase a Dolphin. I have $30 billion. No, that's light work. Well, we keep forgetting that aspect. So I want us to think on a broader scope that this could be able to go international with minority billionaires that are international. It doesn't have to be American.
When we talk about an absentee owner,
that
is involved in daily things. That's
I agree. Green Rap brings up a great point. Like, I don't want an absentee owner. I want somebody that's going to be in South Florida, that is part of the temperature of South Florida, no pun intended, I think that you have to look that, whoever we get, I need them invested not only in the team, but in the area of Miami Gardens, an area
But
in South
Steven,
Florida.
you could hire the right people to put in the right places.
But
I think it's a good idea. I just don't think it's feasible, I guess.
You could hire the right
It's
people to put in
feasible.
the
They
right
can move
places
to South Florida.
to really, because again, you could, how many of these owners really watch a team 24/7, right?
You know who I'd love to
Like,
see?
Only Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones watched them guys.
like
That's the main
24/8.
one.
I'm
but you have
just
three
I'm
football
just stating
The
what
Rams
they've
own it
said on
too.
this channel many, 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 many times, that they hate Stephen Ross for being an absentee owner. So
I hate Stephen Ross not for being an absentee owner. I hate Stephen Ross for being an idiot and not he doesn't do things full circle.
He's just incompetent all around.
That's fair.
The thing
I'm
is, he
just
keeps
stating
doing the
what I've
wrong
heard.
thing. You can't sit there and fire a coach and keep a GM, then fire the GM. The GM fires the coach. You keep going around in circles. Fire both of them.
All right, let me bring on somebody who's been
You
very
gotta clean
patient
house
and
the right way.
patient in the background. Tony Manzano. What's up, Tony? How are you, buddy?
Hey, John, I have a question for you, actually.
If this is about, hold on, not to cut you off, but if this is about the racketeering issue, I saw your comments in the section. You would have to go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead if that's what it's about.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. This is what Ross is doing is considered racketeering and influencing results of a game. So can he be charged under RICO? Is my question.
I am not going to lie to you and say I'm not going to
We
lie
have
to
a
you and say to
RICO
you I
case?
know nothing. I know nothing about RICO. I handle personal injury. I do employment law. I do all those things. I do not do RICO. And if it's RICO, then you're looking at, it can't be just Ross. It has to be more. It has to be the
More
NFL
people
is
involved.
included into that.
Yeah,
Included.
it's organized
That's the only thing I
crime,
know
you know,
about
it's
RICO.
like it's a
Right,
gang,
it's organized crime,
pretty much.
organized organization,
It's
criminal
basically
organization.
the NFL knew about it. The other teams knew about it. They were all in conspiracy together to basically
Bring on Detective Stabler. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've been watching Law and Order Organized Crime. I love that show.
Which is why I think that Greer has some culpability, because there's quotes in the lawsuit saying that Greer expressed to Flores Ross's displeasure with him not tanking games.
And that's
So
why I got upset that people are not sitting there. Nobody's mentioning Greer.
D-Dub, I have a question for you.
Greer's playing the shadows though. That's why.
Listen, there are two ways, Anthony. This could unfold. What I've spoken to lawyers who have handled this type of situation before. It is in the NFL's interest, and I think Stephen touched upon this before, to bring Ross under their wing.
Yep.
Because they need Ross not to fly off the handle, and they need to have a basic frontal stance on this as a unified front to go against Flo. Flo does have an uphill battle against him. There's no question about it. But it's also in the NFL's interest to settle, because Flo's attorneys have a right through order to show causes and motions to the court to get all the emails from the NFL, not all the emails, but the emails that are related to this. And they could uncover some pretty nasty stuff. And I guarantee John Gruden's name will come up again if that happens.
Daniel Snyder's name will come up.
And this is a question for the panel.
Robert Kraft's name will come up.
Yep.
This is a question for everybody in the panel. I understand we want a minority owner, but do you think these white owners would want someone who doesn't speak or look like them to be an owner in the NFL? I understand there's going to be outside pressure, but their mentality is
fair. So Tony, fair question. I think there is that. I think there is that boys club, right? And there's this practice culture over a long tradition and period of time that you will see owners. Most owners are of the upper 1%, and most people of the upper 1% happen to be white in this country. Not all, most, right? And so when you're looking at it from that standpoint, you have to understand it's a matter of, now we live in a world of a few different things. I don't think that they can go around, even if that was their intent, is their intent. I don't think you can go around and say, hey, man, we live in such a cancel culture society. Like everything will be scrutinized. So now at the point of where they're at, two things I think will happen. Number one, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, Denver will be a minority-owned team because they are up for sale, and it makes too much sense for the NFL not to sell the team to a minority owner. Okay? Number 2, the Miami Dolphins. If Ross is forced to sell the team, which I personally believe he on his own merit should sell it, not even be forced to sell it. Okay? And you know the way that happens, us as fans cause a big enough commotion. And I think we should talk about that as its own thing, by the way. But
yeah, and don't forget, honestly, for me, with Ross specifically, I feel that even if he gets forced, does he have the right to have a successor if it's true that he paid the coach off?
I think there's no precedent for the NFL to nix a deal that's already in place for a succession plan. But just because there's no precedent for something doesn't mean that should change. It should be all the more reason that they should say, hey, look, we're gonna say, hey, this succession plan is no longer valid based on the integrity of the person that currently owns the team, as this guilty by association, right?
Board of directors do that all the time in corporations.
Yep,
part of the succession
100%.
plan is that the successor has to come up with the money as well.
Well, so 2 things people need to realize. Bill has already been approved by the NFL board of trustees to be an owner in the NFL. He's already been approved. He doesn't have to go through anything anymore. That's why the succession plan's in place, so that he could literally just take over the team at any moment in time.
And they could speed that process up.
100%. But I tell you why that's not going to happen, because of Ross's statement at 11:55 last night.
Thank you. Exactly.
And yet, he is going to fight this thing tooth and nail.
Which, again, is not in the NFL's interest to do so, because the NFL might tell Ross, you might want to shut up, because if we go down this road and we go all the way to trial with this, there's a lot of skeletons that we're hiding.
The NFL doesn't want any of the skeletons.
If it's a billionaire boys club, they might say, hey, man, you might need to fall on your sword on this one.
It's funny.
100%.
It's funny that Ross wanted Flores to fall on the spear and tank, but he's not willing to do the same thing for the NFL.
I'll do you one better. For his fan base, because I'm reading the statement last night at midnight, and I'm thinking to myself, guys, I'm like, hold up. This guy is literally out here against a person. Let's call a spade a spade. All right. Right now, there, especially in the cancel culture that we live in and in the way society is, you just accused a black man of straight up lying. Read the statement. He said, I mean,
you want to take Ross's statement? I'm more concerned that the NFL put out a statement without conducting an investigation.
Within 3 hours of it, they said
that without merit.
It was like an hour. It was like an hour and a half, man. It was like an hour.
And just so you all know,
but here's the
New
thing:
York,
the NFL,
hold on, Bonjo.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
In New York, if there is a complaint in the workplace, by law, you have to conduct an investigation. You cannot dismiss an allegation outright. You can be held punitively for that, not just negligence, but punitive negligence for that, because it's grossly discriminatory what you did to just dismiss that allegation without conducting an investigation. Any judge would agree that. And for the NFL to come out and say, oh, we're dismissing all the allegations without conducting an investigation, that is insane. I don't know how their attorneys allowed them to release that type of statement. That was ridiculous.
That's true, but they've known about it since Flores started to have his interview.
It doesn't matter.
He told them that.
It's bad.
So the NFL changed their statement.
I understand.
The NFL did come out and said, we're investigating the Miami situation. Right? So they already said they investigate. They will be investigating the Miami situation. So that's why I'm saying I don't know why Ross is gonna just take a hard line on this when
the NFL,
is about to investigate.
The NFL
I'm trying to say it wasn't exactly a knee-jerk deal.
And
it's because Flores said that he informed the Saints, and as soon as the Saints were informed that he was going to do that, I'm sure the NFL was contacted. So there's probably a couple days in there that they knew
What, a
about it.
couple of days?
Not saying that they're right.
That was
Hey,
under
guys.
24 hours.
Steven.
That was less than
Hey,
24
Steven.
hours when they did that.
What's
Hey,
up,
Steve.
Tony?
I want to say I appreciate
I'm
you.
wondering
I
for
appreciate
you
Steve.
guys to answer this. Why is it? I've noticed.
Hold on,
this-
Tony. Hold on, Tony. Hold on, Tony. Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, Steve, I appreciate you letting me on, man. And I got to get back to work.
Yeah, I
Appreciate
got to
it.
get
I'm gonna
out
keep
too,
listening to you
Steven.
guys, man.
Hey,
Y'all
no
guys
problem.
have a good day, man.
Guys,
Y'all have a
thank you
good
for
day.
All right,
coming on.
Trey, no problem, buddy.
Great show, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Have a good one, man.
All right, man. All right, guys. Matter of fact, let's do final thoughts of the day because it's been a crazy morning. We all got stuff to do. We got people to see, people to talk about. Got a lot going on tonight. So we'll go around the room. We'll do final thoughts of the day. And just so you know, I'm just going to tell you who I'm going to save last today. I'm saving Von Joe for last because Von Joe was clanging and banging with the boys today, clanging and banging, and then doing daddy duty. You are an inspiration to all men, Von Joe. That's all I'm going to say. You're
Hey,
an inspiration.
appreciate it. I just try to do my best, man. My little
All
part.
right. Well, hey, put yourself back on mute. I'm saving you for last. All right. Don't say nothing. No more, Vonjo. Till the. All right. Just wait till the end, Vonjo. Okay. Let's see who we got. Who do I want to go first? Let's go, Tony Manzano. Your final thought of the day, sir.
This is a final thought, but it's actually a question. So I've noticed this recently in the past, like 2 or 3 years, or in general, a decade, that when a African American coach is hired, they're not given the same leeway as a minority coach in general doesn't get the same leeway as a white coach.
100%.
Why is that? Can you explain that to me?
I could, but I'll let D-Dub explain that. I'll let D-Dub take over for that. OG, triple OG, D-Dub. Go ahead, sir.
I'll answer that question because most of the time.
Thank you, Tony, by the way.
The situations that they're hired in are the worst, and therefore they're set up as the fall guy, the stunt man. And as you know, the stunt men and women, they are never given credit. You know, you don't go to the movie and say, "Oh man, that stunt man was great. That stunt man was great. I like that action." That you say, "Oh, the star was great," but the stunt man is the person who's actually doing the action, and you don't come out there saying anything about the stunt man. So it's the same situation basically, where that black coach is the fall guy for the team's future success to fall on the sword. And when the situation is I guess better, they move on from that black coach, hire somebody else. And it's been proven black coaches are given 2.5 years in their stints as head coaches. White coaches are given 3.5 years. So, and this is over the last, since the Rooney Rule, this has been the case.
100%. All right. Matter of fact, I'm grid. Hold on. I'm trying to find something that I just saw on Twitter that I think would be good to play real quick because I think it goes to. Here, I'll let somebody else go real quick. Let me go. Let Green Rat. Final thought of the day while I'm looking for this.
Hey guys, thanks for having me today. The only thing I want to say is I don't think there's one person that on this panel or in the chat that doesn't believe that Brian Flores has the right to be pissed off and not being able to bring a lawsuit against the league or anything for what happened in New York and Denver. I think he has every right in the world to have a problem and stuff. It's just more of I think some of us have more of a problem with everyone saying he has such high integrity, and some of us disagree with that. And that's all I have to say. And you guys have a good day.
All right, I same to you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, hey real quick. So I want to add to your thing real quick. Bleacher Report has this thing called the Gridiron Gang. It's like a mini-sode. Okay. All right. So they did one last year. on the Rooney Rule, and it's like 2 minutes long. So I want to play it because I think it plays into obviously the conversation that we just had. So let me play it real quick. Hopefully you guys can hear it. So put yourselves on mute, turn your volume up loud real quick, and then turn it back down after it's done. It's about 2 minutes long.
You've probably heard of the NFL's Rooney Rule, but is it really working in 2021? The NFL policy was named after the league's former diversity committee chairperson, the late Dan Rooney. It was instituted in 2003, then expanded in 2009, requiring teams with vacancies for head coaches, general managers, and similar front office roles to interview at least one diverse candidate for those jobs. In 2003, there had only been 6 black head coaches in the modern era. The rule appeared to show promise in 2006 and 2007, with 6 black head coaches in permanent positions. In 2020, the rule was updated, requiring teams to interview at least 2 external minority candidates for head coaching openings and at least 1 minority candidate for any coordinator job, as well as 1 external minority candidate for senior football operations and general manager jobs. The truth is, only 4 head coaches of color and 4 general managers of color hold positions in the NFL, and 2 of the 32 NFL teams have owners who are not white. The numbers are glaring, and the interviewing process has shown to be more of a chore than honest due diligence. This year's Super Bowl featured a handful of potential future head coaches of color. Chiefs offensive expert Eric Bieniemy has been discussed as a potential head coach for the last few seasons. And while Tom Brady and Bruce Arians have received much of the credit for the Buccaneers' success this season, all of the team's major coordinators are black men. Offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, assistant head coach Harold Goodwin, defensive coordinator Todd Bowles, and special teams coordinator Keith Armstrong. Bieniemy has been passed over by multiple teams. Bowles, who took interviews with the Eagles and Falcons, had a scheduled interview with the Detroit Lions before they canceled and hired Dan Campbell, while Leftwich didn't even receive an interview. There is no clear accountability from the league regarding the Rooney Rule. The rule hasn't panned out, which doesn't mean it's a failure. It was just a starting point. The NFL can create all the incentives to jumpstart high-level hiring of people of color and women, but in the end, the future of the rule and its evolution is directly tied to the owners. In modern NFL history, only 23 head coaches of color have been hired in the NFL, and the responsibility to fix that lies at the owner's feet.
Wow, 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 wow. Whew. Like
I didn't even want to get into I didn't even want to get into the offense coordinator position, but when you think about Eric Bieniemy specifically, okay, he calls the plays, but yet offensive coordinators who have not called the plays have been hired as coaches since he's been a highly assessed candidate for a head coaching position. So again, we see the racial disparity. Okay, people want to put their head in the sand and complain that why are we talking about race in this situation, and why? Because
it's relevant.
It's relevant, impacting careers, which impacts franchises. Because when you stifle talent, you're not putting the best product on the field.
Here's what I'll say to this, guys. I think we need to. 2 things can be right? T-Dub? 2 things can be right. And the reality is there is a desperate need for change in the NFL. And the fact and this lawsuit that was brought up by Brian Flores is my hope, the change of that. Did I want it to happen this way? No. But it's where we're at. And because it's where we're at, I support it. Now, I do know that the Dolphins are collateral damage in here. And this will impact them over the next 5 to 10 years. How do you change that? I think it starts with us as fans, right? I am not a part of cancel culture. I hate cancel culture. But I do think that when there's a time for things to change, it's on us to speak up and say something. And that's what needs to happen now. You want this franchise to change? Great. We need to be saying Bill doesn't need to be the successor, and we need a new owner, and we need to be screaming at the top of our lungs as a fan base for that. We need to say, Ross, sell the team. Do not sell it to Beal. And I personally believe it should go to a minority owner if there is one that is willing to take it. Now, with that being said, I also want an owner that has a track record of hiring minority owners. So if I don't get a minority owner, give me somebody who has a track record that hires minorities, that takes people to and brings people to that level.
You know what? To that point, look at Tampa Bay. Who's the owner? Culverhouse. No, who's the owner of the whoever the owner is of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? He has proven that he's not afraid to be uncomfortable picking people that don't look like him.
Yep.
And look at the success they've had the last two years.
And Bruce Arians too. Bruce Arians is the only coach in the NFL to have an entire black coaching staff in the prominent positions: offense, defense, special teams coordinator, and assistant head coach.
Yep.
All black on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That says a lot.
Yep.
That says a lot.
In the 20 years since the Rooney Rule has been passed, 20 years, only 15
hit that like button, y'all.
Only 15 head coaching positions have been filled by black candidates.
Mm-hmm.
So out of 129 possible positions since the Rooney Rule, only 15 candidates have been hired that were black. That's 11%, even though they represent, as a player pool, 70% of the player population.
100%. Now, I also want to state this for the record. I have 118 people listening, 117 people. I think we had 170 at one point today. I know it's the end of the day. People got stuff to do. I said we were wrapping up the show. But understand this. I appreciate donations when donations are done. I appreciate when you guys share, when you guys hit that like button. But the moment we start talking about the hard stuff, the numbers go down. And I don't want that to be the case. So what I need y'all's help with that are currently watching is hitting the like button and sharing this, because the only way that we make a difference is if more people hear this. And if some people are going to turn the YouTube channel off right now because they want to talk about sports and they don't want to hear about this, how are things ever going to change?
There you go. We're asking owners to do things that we're not willing to do as a fan base or listening.
If that's the case, Steven, they really not gonna like my final take. I got a very popular and / popular final take.
I'm looking.
So this one aspect that we're not talking about.
All right. Well, let me let Drubbatron go. Go ahead. Go ahead, Drub.
All right. So this was a great talk. A couple things before I leave. One thing that, Stephen, you brought up is that us as fans, we absolutely can bring the change that this organization and that the NFL need. And the way that we do that is with our dollars, okay? If we want to see the change, we can't just throw it out there and expect the world to change for us. We do have to have these conversations. They're difficult, but we have to have them. We have to have differing opinions so we can work it all out. But at the end of the day, when it comes to our, getting the team to make change, it's going to come from fans and their dollars. Do with that information what you will. But in addition, I know a lot of people here. I see a lot of you on Twitter. I know a lot of people on Facebook. We like to talk throughout the day. I will say this, and I said this on TD's chat. We had a conversation that I broke, and I'll say it again. When you're on the internet, there's going to be a lot of, I'll call them trolls, but they're bots, foreign and domestic. Okay, this is going to become a very politicized topic, and And I would say be vigilant, be smart, don't feed in, because what these accounts, what they want is they want to sow division in this country. And I would say to stay positive, keep it positive, don't feed into the negativity and the hate that people are going to put out there. Stay strong, but still be part of the conversation, because we have to talk about these issues or they'll never be resolved.
And by the way, being part of that conversation, Jumbotron, again, I need to reiterate, is by liking the channel. And look, look, myself promoting in the middle of this, I am, because I have talked about HBCUs on my channel. I have been a big advocate of a lot of like bringing people together. That only happens if you all, help this channel grow. And when we're having this conversation and people leave the channel, it's discouraging for me. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's discouraging when that doesn't happen. So donate to the channel, help the channel grow, hit the like button, share, tell people about the conversation that we had today and how we got a lot of different angles. And there were a lot of different people's, takes on this. Not all were good. Not all were great. Not all were right. Not all were wrong. They were people's, perspectives. And that's what this is. We're all one big hodgepodge here, and we all have different opinions and different perspectives. And that's what coming together and having the conversation is about, That's just me.
And
Thank you, Drub.
This is way bigger than football. So I appreciate everybody here, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you,
All
Drub.
right, Jumbotron, good point. Good point there, Drew.
All right, let me go to Russell. Russell, go ahead. Final thought of the day, sir.
Final thought of the day. I hope everybody has a good day. Everybody stay safe. I'm in Ohio where we're getting ready to get like 10 inches of snow dumped on us.
I know. It was crazy up there.
We've been dealing with ice all night. We've already got probably about half an inch to an inch of ice up here.
Russell,
luckily,
are you near Columbus or are you near Cincinnati? What major city?
I live in Dayton.
Okay, I used to live in Tip City.
Really? That's where my mother grew up, man. I actually went to Troy High School. That's where I graduated.
Yeah, I used to work in that area, so I was in Dayton, in the Dayton area, Tip City, Troy.
Yep, that's all my stomping grounds.
Yeah, Sydney.
Yep.
All right, final thought of the day. Let's go.
Just final thought. Let me get back to it. Stay safe. We're all going to have a difference of opinion on views pertaining the situation from the football aspect side of it, but I think we all can definitely agree change does need to happen. Like I said, we do need to have minorities at head coaching positions. We need to have them, across the board as owners and general managers. And, I'm all for it. From the football aspect, I'm pissed off. But outside of that fence up, I hope everybody has a good day.
Appreciate it, Russ. Thanks, brother. Russell. Be good, man.
Take care, Russell.
All right, Crypto. Go ahead, Crypto.
Yeah, good point there, Russell. Yeah, change does need to happen. What Drew Jumbotron was saying, that's a big point, because there are people that setting up these troll farms, these automatic fake accounts to set up and sow division in different chat rooms across the internet and stuff. That is a true thing, because I once attacked one of those bots and I got my account deleted because of it. So it's a real thing, not realizing at the end that it was actually one of those troll bots that I was attacking. And then I wound up getting kicked out and had to get my account restored. But that's a true thing that he was saying. It's much bigger than that. But as far as this Stephen Ross situation, hey, we all can agree definitely that change need to happen, and it starts at the top. And it set this franchise back perhaps another 20, not 20, but, decade. I don't know if you remember me saying this, Stephen D. I'm looking forward to the 2032 draft. That's what I'm looking for right now.
Why the 2032?
Huh?
Why 2032? Why not 2031 or 2033?
Yeah, hey, I'm just trying to give it a clean, even number, man.
Okay, 10 years. 10 years. I got you. 2032. I'm with you.
because this franchise is so disorganized and dysfunctional, man. It's
Hey,
ridiculous.
and look, I tell people all the time, don't spend your money with the Dolphins. You can spend your money here at Miami Sports Music and the same money. I'm just saying, we
They
got
can do
a
that.
lot. I'm just saying, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Not every day is going to be like this. We're not going to have these conversations all the time, but there's a need to have these conversations, and they will happen on my channel. And I'm not afraid to have these conversations on my channel. I speak the truth. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you can't get mad at Flo because he used his own time schedule in which to respond to his defamations. You know, he did it in his own time because in this situation the world doesn't revolve around the Dolphins. It's much bigger than the Dolphins.
It is.
So I know it's untimely for us fans because we're just fans, but in the bigger scheme of things, when you poke the bear for so long, that bear might wait. The bear might just wait for the right opportune time to strike back. He might not get you back then, but he'll do it. I'll tell you a quick story about my wife. At the time that she was my wife, she came back out to me 2 years later and responded on the incident because she said, I caught you staring at this other chick. And she just threw it back up out of it, just out of the blue, out of nowhere. I was like, where did that come from? Said, remember when you did that? It was just such a delayed response. You just never know when people are going to retaliate. What goes around, come around, but what comes around is not always on your schedule. That's the thing.
You're 100% right, Crypto. Crypto, thank you so much, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Yep.
All right. I want to remind y'all, if y'all haven't hit that like button, please hit it. If y'all donate to the channel, hey, look, if all 100 people donated $1 right now to the channel, it would go to helping the channel grow. So everybody donate $1. Help the channel grow. Let's go. And remember, hey, we're here every weekday, Monday mornings, 9 a.m., unless it's on Mondays when I have Dono and Daniels. Although this coming up Monday, it'll be a regular Clock Blockers episode because Dono is not able to do the show on Monday. So we're either going to have it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so just make sure you guys do that. And tomorrow is Spread Kindness Friday. So it's going to be a great show tomorrow. So yeah, let me D-Dub, I love having you on Throwback Thursday, man. It was great getting your perspective. I hope you were able to get off what you wanted on your chest. But final thought of the day, the floor is yours, D-Dub.
Sure. Thank you, Stephen, for allowing me to
I got you, Shake Money, by the way. Shake Money, I did get it. Go ahead.
These are conversations that we need to have, and there are some people in the fan base that want to stick their head in the sand and only worry about what's inside the lines, but don't realize that things that happen outside the lines have an impact on what goes on inside the lines and impacts who is on the line as well. So I'm gonna leave with something that I wanted to say with respect to the offensive coordinator positions. Okay. 31 out of 62 head coaching positions were filled by offensive coordinators. Now, offensive coordinator positions is the least represented position for black coaches, offensive coordinators. That is the pipeline to head coaching positions.
Yep.
And when you have a lack of representation there in a sport where you got stars ad infinitum for the last 10, 15 years, you can look at all the talent that has passed through the NFL, and you telling me that some of those players couldn't be offensive coordinators just because of what they, let's keep it real, what they look like. Okay. I'm old enough to remember Warren Moon and the NFL saying, no, you can't be a quarterback in the NFL. I'm old enough to remember where centers were thought to be a position that a black person couldn't handle. But yet we know that's not the case with Dwight Stevenson, a perfect example. Hall of Fame center for the Miami Dolphins. But there was a time when that position was deemed not available to black ball players, football players. Okay. Same with middle linebackers. Certain positions, safety, were all deemed to be no, you can't play those positions. So we have the same situation with coaching as well. And for those people who say, oh, well, they can get a job in the NCAA at college. Well, the stats for the NCAA with black coaches is even more abysmal. So I applaud Brian Flores for his stance, for being able to stand up, file this lawsuit. I would love to see a lot more coaches that are in that fraternity support. And then the players, the current players, should be making some sort of statement as well. And to that, what would it be like if the players on the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals decided, hey, until this situation is rectified, we're not going to play in the Super Bowl, and boycott in support of the situation? How would that impact the NFL? Okay, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, what if
Imagine if it did?
Imagine if it did. Okay. There's a lot more things to say, but I'm gonna let it go until the next time that I get an opportunity when this comes up again. When, like Steven said, we're not gonna always talk about this every week,
but it's a conversation
but
that needed to be had.
Yep. Conversation needed to be had. Steven, thank you again. Normally I would leave with my go Dolphins, but
right now
I want this Stephen Ross thing to be meted out one way or the other, and I'm gonna, just hold off. I don't like the way things.
You know what you could do? You could say, "Go Steven, go Steven, go Steven."
Go Miami sports music. Go Miami sports music. Go Miami sports music.
I like it. I like it. I'm good with that. All right, D-Dub. Thank you for coming on today, bro.
All right.
Be easy, man. All right. And then there was one.
Bro, D-Dub took part of my final take, man. I don't like it.
well, look, man, I'll say this. I really enjoyed having you on today. I enjoy every time I have you on. But today, man, you worked out on my show. You're at the park with your kid, pushing him on the swing. You are just.
Yeah, I'm actually doing that right now.
Hashtag dad life all the way, baby. So I brought you on because your perspective is really good, and I agree. And you represent the fan base very, very positively and well. So the final thought of the day is yours, my friend.
Listen, first off, I appreciate you having me on, and you've been killing my workouts for the past couple of weeks, actually. So I'm like, I might need to change. I might need to find a new workout time. I'm not missing your show.
I like. Please stay healthy, but I like it. I like it though.
But I mean, people keep saying that this is going to be a long rebuild. It's a long reset, and protecting the shield and everything. But sometimes it's easier to and faster to rebuild when you have a solid and cleaner foundation, a cleaner shield. So this reset could actually be us speeding up our rebuild. Because if the foundation is faulty, the house is always going to keep crumbling, and that's what we kept seeing for the past, Lord knows, 20 plus years. That faulty foundation, right? Secondly, and that's in part of the Miami Dolphins. Secondly, what everybody keeps saying, okay, make the owners change. Also, the coaches. You see Flores as a coach making a change, right? And as D-Dub said, we're not talking about the players and holding them accountable. 70% of these players are minorities. If 70% of the NFL sat there and said, listen, we demand if the next 5 to 6 teams are up for sale, minorities do get the first bid. That's something that could be asked by the players. Or we're not going to play. Hey, we want to see more representation at the GM, at the head coaching position. And we want true transparency. Hey, interview them. If you don't hire them, that's fine, but give a reason to why. Let's see why you didn't hire them. That's that true transparency that versus, hey, you know what? No, we just didn't like them. Because you had the Bills talking about Dayball was down to the last minute versus Flores. Meanwhile, Flores, if you don't count his first season with the Dolphins, where we tore down everything, was a winning coach, as well as a defensive coordinator with Super Bowl rings, as well as has head coaching experience. So it's really down to the wire. Who's really more qualified for the head coaching position in Buffalo, which already has a great defense? So why wouldn't you want to keep that person bring in somebody that is a great defensive person into Buffalo to make your defense even better, right? But again, we have to have the players come in and be accountable and say, hey, players, take a stand on this. If you need to boycott, hey, let it rock. Like D-Dub say, if you want to boycott the Super Bowl, which is their moneymaker, hey, I guarantee you that those owners will sit there and say, all right, listen, we're losing money on this. Because at the end of the day, white, black,
it comes
green,
down.
blue,
I said at the beginning of the show, it comes down to dollars and cents.
Dollars
and you
always
heard
make
him in
sense
the
to these
pockets.
owners.
That'll. That's what my final thought's going to end up being. And when you
Exactly,
listen to my
dollars will
final
always
thought.
make sense to these owners. So if you sit there and say, hey, you know what, we're not playing, guess what? That hurts the product on the field. Those 70 minorities, what you got to do? Bring in scat players, the replacements, like the movie.
100%.
It's going to hurt the product on the field. And
Shane Falco, baby, bring on Shane Falco.
Right, and that's going to hurt the product on the field. People are not going to watch. They're going to lose those the television deals. These corporations are not going to sit there and invest in. So at the end of the day, they will be forced to make the change.
100%, man.
Plain and simple.
100%.
So what I'm saying is, hey, I know there's change that needs to be made. Sometimes you have to get uncomfortable. You've got to being uncomfortable forces people to make change. And it's just like, for example, hey, that itch, that little feeling that you get to get off the couch and go pee, hey, it's discomfort. You need that. Either that or you just get pee on yourself on the couch. So let's stop having the NFL pee on themselves.
Von Joe, thank you so much. You're a great dad. You're a great fan. You're a great member of the channel. I love having you on, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you, man. You keep doing what you do. We truly appreciate you. Hey, sometimes people are afraid to have these tough conversations, but I'm glad that, hey, you're not going to let, a few people that do not want to have the conversation.
Hey, look, there's only 93. There's only 93 people watching right now, and we have been averaging 150, 170. So that means 80 to 90 people, and let's say a third of them have real life work. So 66%, probably turned it off.
Hey, but listen, I appreciate you. Hey, you keep marching, keep doing what you do. Hey, I know I'm gonna keep supporting you.
I appreciate it, Von Joe. Thank you, brother.
You take care.
Yep. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami Fan Morning Show. Clack Blockers. I am your host, Stephen D. Here's my final thoughts of the day. I enjoy what I do every single day. I enjoy it. My final thought of the day is I enjoy what I do every single day. I enjoy this platform. I enjoy hanging out with y'all. I think in the chat, y'all have your own little world in the chat that I'm not usually a part of, and that's part of what makes this show great is you have the show and you have the chat, and they're totally two different worlds sometimes. And I love it. Whether you're here for the chat or you're here for the show, you're here because of your love for this team. Maybe some of you are watching right now that aren't even a fan of the Dolphins, but you just enjoy my content. No matter what it is, I appreciate what you all do. Y'all are amazing. I want to talk about two things in my final thoughts of the day. Thing A is, the conversation of what we've had, and I've already talked a little bit briefly about that, right? If you want to make, matter of fact, let me say this first. Let me get into this because I think that's more important than what I have to say here, and they're both important. Stephen Ross, if you are listening, sir, I need you to fall down on your sword and sell this team. I love the Miami Dolphins. I love being a fan of the Miami Dolphins. I think that you have done a lot of good, not only for this team, you have done the best that you can do. I think you've made a lot of glaring and big mistakes. But I think the mistakes that you've made at this point, there's a point of no return. You have to sell this team. And it cannot be to Beal, your successor. I don't care if he is the person that could take us to the next person. You have to sell this team, Ross. And it needs the opportunity to go to a minority owner. And if it's not going to go to a minority owner, it needs to go to somebody with a track record in their business life that hires minorities and puts them in powers of position to be successful. You, Stephen Ross, must sell the Miami Dolphins. There is no other way around it. You have failed as an owner. You have not put good products out on the field. Most decisions that you made, I won't say everyone, most decisions that you made, and almost all of them that had to do with on the field, have been the wrong decisions. You have a duty as an owner to do what's best for this fan base and this team. You haven't done it. You failed. And you have an entire fan base that is hurt consistently since you've been the owner. Time after time after time. And you know what? You might not have been the one directly affected in a lot of these. Now, what we're hearing this past one, you are. But I'm not going to blame you for bully. Like I won't put the 100% blame for Bullygate or the coach, doing cocaine, any of that. Like there's a million things that happen, but it's a culture. It's a precedent. And it starts with the top down. And sir, if you're not here in the building on a regular basis, how are you ever going to change an entire clubhouse, an entire precedent of how you run a franchise? You can't do it. You have to sell the team. You are not what is best for the Miami Dolphins. You're not. You are not what's best for this fan base. You are not what's best for the future of this franchise. You must sell this team. Must. There is no other way around it. And we as a fan base need to get together and we need to force him to sell this team. How do we do that, Stephen? We come together. We do social media movements. And I know this is going to hurt me, but I don't care because it's what we need to do. And I know that by saying this, I believe in my heart of hearts that you fans will support me. And I won't have to worry about making a statement like this that I'm sure will hurt me in the long run. You need to stop spending your money with the Dolphins. You need to not buy season tickets. You need to not buy their jerseys, their hats, all their stuff. You cannot spend money with the team. You want to make a change? Stop spending your money with the team. I will support my team. I will wear the clothes that I currently have. I will wear all of my I'm never ever, this is never going to stop this fan. But you want to hurt, you want to make a difference, fans, that's how you do it. And if you're real, you'll support me with it. You'll use the hashtag Ross sell the team. Hashtag Ross sell the team in social media. That will blow up. You will use the hashtag Ross sell the team. And it can't just be just a hashtag. It needs to be financial stuff that goes through it. And the moment you sell the team, I'm like, fans, go back. Put your money back in. But we have a right to be upset. We have a right to be angry. Ross, since you have owned the team, there's been nothing but destruction and off the field issues and on the field issues and no cohesiveness. None of that. Cameron, we're still gonna tailgate. We're still gonna tailgate. We just won't go in the stadium. We'll stay out the stadium. We'll keep the party outside the stadium. Ross, you must sell this team. There is no way, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You have to sell the team. You are not what's best for the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross. You must sell. And that's what there needs to be here. There needs to be the fan base coming together as one. You must. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come together as a fan base. We're going to come together. We're going to force to sell this team. And it cannot be to Beal. Cannot go to the successor. Omar says no more tailgating. No, we'll tailgate. We'll still tailgate outside the stadium. They ain't making their money all tailgating. I know that. We're going to have fun outside the stadium. But I'm not walking in there. Now, look, I am flip-flopper. I am somebody, I want a change to come to this team. I want a change to come to this team. That's all I'm asking you for. And every time, Stephen Ross, you've decided to make a decision about this team, it's been the wrong one. It's been one that set this franchise back consistently. Consistently, you have put this franchise, setting it back, decision after decision after decision. I'm not blaming the players. I'm not blaming Coach Flores. I blame you, Stephen Ross. I blame you. So fans, if you want to see a change of this team, it's on us to do it. It's on us. I love this team, and that's never going to change. And I will always support this team. That's never going to change. But you know what? I deserve to better as a fan. We deserve better as fans. And Stephen Ross, you're not what's better. You are not it. You are not it in any way, shape, or form. So I want to appreciate the time that you and the money you put into this team. I don't think that you're a bad person. I don't want to put that out there, Stephen Ross. There's a lot of decisions that you've done that I don't agree with. I think overall, you're a man that wanted what's best for this team and wanted what was best for this franchise, but you haven't executed on that, and you've had multiple chances. And you know what happens when you do not do a job to the potential that you're supposed to fill it? You get fired. And we can't fire an owner, unfortunately. But we can ask for a change. We can stop buying your product. And that's what's going to happen here. We're asking for a change. We, the fans, we, the fan base of the Miami Dolphins, are asking Stephen Ross to step down as owner of the Miami Dolphins and sell the team. You have to, man. In order for change to come, you are not a part of the future. It can't be. Second thing I want to say. There needs to be a change in mentality as fans, too. I'm going to talk to the fans now. I am Mr. Spread Kindness, Positivity, and Love. You guys see it down here. SKPL, Spread Kindness, Positivity, and Love. You are, and I'm talking to each one of you individually as fans, you are special, you are unique, you are creative, you have a place in this world. There is somebody that is always there for you. You just have to go out and find them sometimes. And my hope is some of you have found that here at Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. My hope is that some of you have found that within being a fan of the Miami Dolphins. Hashtag Ross sell the team is the one hammer. And that some of you have found that in this fan base. But if we're going to change as a society, we have to be ready to have conversations that make us uncomfortable. Today was a spitting image of that. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything I say or I put out there. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is this. There is, let's put in cancel culture into this, right? I love Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle is one of the best comedians out there. But Dave Chappelle isn't for everybody. Jerry Seinfeld isn't for everybody. Daniel Tosh isn't for everybody. Kevin Hart isn't for everybody. Joe Rogan isn't for everybody. But you have to understand that there's still a need for them, right? There's still conversations that need to have, and there's people that want to listen to that stuff. And sometimes people do need to listen to that stuff. Same idea here in this scenario, right? You don't have to like me. There are 14 to 15 other Miami Dolphins platforms on YouTube that you can listen to. 100% agree. And most of you do, because I'm still growing. I'm not where I want to be. That's fine. But when I know what I average and what was on today, and the moment when we started talking about race, that those numbers came down, we need to look in the mirror as a fan base, y'all. We need to look in the mirror as a fan base and understand that difficult conversations need to be had. Respectable. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm asking you to hear me. I'm not asking you. I don't agree with everything that some of the people on the panel said today, but I want to listen. I want to hear both sides. How are we ever going to grow as a fan base, as a society, as anything, if we can't learn to listen to each other? I'm never, ever going to grow without your help. I know that's the case. But you're talking about somebody who has integrity and wants what's best. I know what I want out of the people that do listen to me. I want those people to be loving and caring and kind and understand that some of y'all are not going to agree with me, but you still want to hear what I have to say because you like enjoying listening to me. And maybe I'm living in a world that doesn't exist. I don't know. But I can create my own world here. And that's what I plan on doing right now and what I have been doing. The world that I want to create within the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network is one where everybody is welcome. Is one where every fan has a voice, good, bad, or indifferent. Crazy or not crazy. Pete's hot bathroom takes or Russell's crazy takes or Estefan's crazy takes. It doesn't matter. You're welcome on my channel. Whether you're K Flexin, Reason, Jason Sarney, Neil Driscoll, TD Fins Talk, Dougley Do Wrong, Dolphins United, the Fins Tailgate, Miami Sports Fanatic Show. It doesn't matter. Great One DeVore. It doesn't matter. You are welcome here. We are a family. And sometimes family fight. And sometimes family doesn't want to hear what other people have to say. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't listen. We need to listen. I love you all. You all are the best fans in the world. And the people, the 81 that are listening right now 80, and I'm sure it'll go down even more, the people that decide to stay listening to me, understand that I appreciate you. I appreciate your listenership, you dedicating your mornings to this, but know that I can't grow without you. Big O included. I'm sorry I forgot Big O. Big O included. We're all a family. I love you, and I mean that. And you know that I care about that. I just want to see this team and franchise in a different direction, but I don't think that happens without the fan base taking a stand and the fan base coming together. And the only way they can come together is if they learn to listen to other fans. You don't have to agree with them. Just listen and be cordial and loving. That's all we want here. That's all I want. I know that some of what I've said in my final thought today is probably going to get me in a little bit of trouble as I move forward. I'm willing to take the repercussions for that. I just want to be honest with how I feel, and this is how I feel right now. Now, new information can come to me in the future, and I can choose to feel different at that time if it does. Because I'm a flip-flopper, and I'm allowed to do that. It's okay to make different decisions with new information. But with the information that I have right now, Ross, sell the team. With the information I have right now, fan base, come together and love one another. With the information I have right now, understand that I want everybody to become a family. PHAMILY. Family. Family. Chef Shoes says, Stephen D, you know I'm not going nowhere, fam. I hear to witness greatness for you, your family, the channel, and our team. DWA loyalty, hashtag here to stay. Chris Delacus, hashtag stand with Stephen, even if he is a flip-flopper. You all are great. I love you. I will play a song. You know what? I'll play the Tua song. If y'all want to donate to the channel, donate to the channel. If y'all want to hit that like button, replay this episode today, please do it. Y'all are great. I want to see y'all in the chat for these last couple of songs that I play here. And yeah, let's just enjoy it. So I will play the Tua song first, and then we'll go from there. So let's play the Tua song first for y'all. I'll play the Tua song just because it's so good and it makes you feel good. Donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Like, see you tomorrow. Hashtag Spread Kindness Friday. Let's go.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it before. I can feel it again. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it in hands. I can feel it in each other. I can feel it coming in the air now. We fell in love. You remember the time? How could I ever emotions out, I couldn't feel.